this time we're going to have our scripture by Yehoshua. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And next we will have our prayer by Elder Samuel Cheek. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
In that order. Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom.
Hallelujah.
Coming out of Zechariah chapter 2.
Hallelujah.
Start from the top.
Hallelujah.
God to say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So Zechariah chapter 2. Then I raised my eyes and I looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. So I said, "Where are you going?" And he said to me, to measure Jerusalem to see what is the width and what is its height, length. And there was an angel who talked with me, going out, and another angel was coming out to meet him. And he said to him, "Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as the towns without walls, because the multitude of men and livestock in it. For I, says Yah, will be the walls of fire around her, and I will be the Lord in her midst. Up, flee from the land of the north, says Yah, for I have spread you abroad like the four winds of heaven, says Yah. Up, Zion, escape, you who dwell in the daughter of Babylon. For thus says Yah of hosts, who set me after glory, the nations which plunder you, for he who touches you touches the apple of his eye. For surely I will shake my hand against them, and they shall become spoiled for their serving. Then you will know that Yah of hosts has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for behold, I am coming, and I will dwell in your midst, says Yah. Many nations shall be joined to Yah in that day, and they shall dwell in your midst, and you will know that Yah of hosts has sent me to you. And Yah will take possession of Judah as his inheritance, and the Holy Land will again choose Jerusalem. But be silent, all flesh, before Yah, for he is aroused from his holy habitation.
Hallelujah. 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 Good word.
This is the day that Yahuwah has made, and we shall be thankful and glad in it. Our Father, Most Yah, it's again that we are here today to thank you for your anointing, and thank you for this blessed day that you blessed us with, knowing that it's nothing good that we've done, but because of your mercy and your love, you allowed us to be able to come back again to say thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you today for this beautiful day that you've given us, a day that is afresh. A day that we come into a new sanctuary, a place that we can come and give honor to you, a place that we can come and give our history to people that don't know, a place that we can come to just come together in fellowship.
Hallelujah.
But we come today not on a celebration of a pagan holiday, but we come in celebrating who you are.
Hallelujah.
Knowing because of what you've done, we have something to say thank you for.
Hallelujah.
I want to say thank you for allowing us to have life, health, and strength. I want to say thank you for allowing us to be able to come together as brothers and sisters who know who the true Yahuwah is.
Hallelujah.
I want to say thank you because you blessed us with a new sanctuary to be able to just fellowship again. I want to say thank you because of the love that you're showing with each other here. We just thank you for how you blessed us all week long. No hurt, harm, or danger that took place in these places, in these bodies, in these minds, in these hearts. Bless today. Heal today. Deliver today. Set free today. In the name of Yahuwah. For you're worthy to be praised. As my sister thanked All the glory belongs to you. All the glory belongs to you. Let me get your hand. All the glory belongs to you. 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 And we say, You know that song that I like? If you don't mind, will you sing that song that I like?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High.
Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High. Hallelujah to the Most High.
okay?
Hallelujah.
Okay. Hallelujah. I'm going to ask Carly if she would. You not ready, Carly? You're not ready? You're not ready? Even if I sing with you, you're not ready? Okay. I'll wait. She's like, Myra, will you do that song for me? If you fault me, it's Bree's fault. I'm so grateful, yeah. I'm so grateful, yeah, for all you've done for me. I'm so grateful, yeah. I'm so grateful, bring it to mind. Thank you, God. You're so wonderful. Yes. Thank you, God. Just recalling all these things that the Most High has just truly delivered me personally. Hallelujah. 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 You know, that's why I'm not ashamed to give Most High praise. Hallelujah. I'm not ashamed to give all praise. Do you remember the song? Oh man. But Lord is Most High anyway. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I know it starts with hallelujah. Here we go. You have won the victory. Hallelujah. Years and years of just traditional church and traditional Christianity, I experienced a temporary fix, but when the Most High opened my eyes to who I was and most of all, who He is, this song began to resonate in my spirit. It says, search the Lord, couldn't find nobody. I looked, I know, y'all say, nobody great. Said I searched the Lord, nobody
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Greater than you.
Hallelujah.
Yes. We came here to hear a word from the Most High. So on today, I just want y'all to keep this in mind as we do this, and then we're going to sit down. Hallelujah. Let me get it right. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Can we say it together? Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. One time out of your own. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. One time, Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you
Somebody said some dangerous scene in our street.
Yeah.
He's worthy of all the
praise. Hallelujah. So at this time, without any further ado, I want to introduce some Miss Picard that doesn't really need no introduction. Hallelujah. When I first spoke with this young man, hallelujah, I was just truly humbled by his humility. I was captivated by his words online, and I was kind of blown away because he was set apart from everyone else that I had seen. He was just different, raw. And I just fell in love with what he was saying. And I reached out to him. I don't even know if I reached out to him through YouTube or what, but the Most High is real and he's good because he allowed me to touch bases with this young man. And not only that, he had that same ruach, but his lovely Isha had the same ruach. And then I got to speak with his son, and he had the same ruach. And I was just blown away at the humility that all of them had. Amen. They represent rebirth of a nation well. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, and not only that, they represent the Most High Yahuwah, Sabaoth. Hallelujah. Well. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So at this time, I want to introduce the song and present to others, none other than my brother Moreh, Malachi, in Israel, along with his Kenisha, Moreh, Kenisha. Stop. Put it in my hand.
Praises to the Most High Yah. All esteem to Yahuwah. Of course, to Pastor Douglas and his wife. He brought the fire in the house. Hallelujah. Right. So, and everybody that came out to join us today, all praises to the Most High for a warm welcome. It's very important.
Hallelujah.
And to be able to come in this new building for the first time, right? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So we do praise Yahuwah for allowing us to come back here. We visited here, I think, around this time last year, right? At the another building close to here, maybe 20 minutes away, if I'm not mistaken. We were very welcoming then, a lot of hospitality. It was just great. We've been talking about it ever since, and it came around fast. We're back here again. I remember my brother here, very warm welcome, and my brother in the back, and the Coleman family, and then Coleman, right? Coleman right here. That's right. Okay. It's a connection here. Yeah. Daughters and aunts and all that good stuff. So, and then we have a lot of more people that I know. My sisters from the Columbia Rebirth and Answer Rebirth that visit us a lot. We thank you all for visiting us today. All praise. Shout out to those that are online. So we're just going to bring out a word today considering the bride and bridegroom. Because the theme of this, if I'm not mistaken, teach me how to love you, right? That's a very great theme for the times that we're living in. We all need to learn how to truly love in this hour, right? Because we know that love covers a multitude of sins, right? Last week, the Most High allowed me to bring out a word concerning a helpmeet and comforter, right? And we need an able helper, right? Not just anybody. The same old help won't work these days. Right? We need someone that's able to help us, right? And because we need comfort. And we know the ultimate comfort is the Ruach HaKodesh, which is one with the Most High Yah and his son Yahusha. They're one, right? And this is what he has left us with. He's left us with a comforter. He told his disciples that I'm leaving you now, right? And if you understood, you wouldn't be so sad. Because I would never leave you nor forsake you. It's talking about the Ruach. It's talking about the comforter. And eventually this comfort is going to manifest in the flesh. It's going to manifest in men, women, right? And this is why we need a mishpaka at this time. We need these gatherings because there's comfort in this. Where two or three are gathered, he's in the midst. So I really feel him in the midst today. Hallelujah. 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 So my wife is with me today, Kenisha. A lot of people call her Tehillah, which means praise. And she has been a great helper and a comforter to me. Hallelujah. This time, I think it was coming up. I don't know. Maybe I did something. I'm sorry.
It probably turned itself off to cool.
So as my sister gets this together, we're just going to be going through a few slides dealing with the bride and bridegroom and how it really connects with Yahuwah and Yasharel and Yahusha, right? Eventually deals with this bride and bridegroom. Thank you. So the first slide, we just want to break down the word bride, kala in Hebrew, which is the kaf, the lamet, and the hay. Kaf, lamet, hay. And the kaf, hallelujah, is a picture of an open palm, right? Which connects with something that's bending, something that's opening, right? Something that is tame or something that's being allowed, right? And the lamet is a picture of a shepherd's staff, right? It means to teach or to bring something unto a yoke, a binding of something, right? And the last letter is hey, which is a man with his raised hands. That's what we were doing earlier through praise and worship. It's the hey, it's the revealing of something, right? A lot of people were singing, and it was revealing to me that Yahweh has been good to you. Hallelujah. By the raising of your hands, by the clapping of your hands, right? By the strong hallelujah. You know, something has happened in this person's life. It's through the raising of his hands. It's a surrender, right? And it means to look in his breath, right? Yahweh has given us a breath, a ruach, a breath, right? And the Strong's, it gives us like a definition of a choice piece. That's what a bride is. It's a choice piece, right? It's a vessel, and it happens through consummation. And it's taming for the yoke, right? Through marriage, it's a taming. You have to tame her, because you bring her into you, and you have to give her a teaching, right? Because when you marry, you're bringing a woman from her father's house, and you're bringing her to your house. So for her to follow you, you have to put a yoke on her. But the yoke is what? Easy. Easy, men. It's not a burdensome yoke. She's leaving from that and she's coming to you to something that's easy. It's easy to follow you, right? And what? She makes that man complete. Now when I say this, think about Yasharel as a nation. We come into Yahuwah and it makes him complete. He won't get no rest until he make Jerusalem a praise in all the earth. And we won't let him rest until he makes Jerusalem a praise in all the earth. We complete him and he completes us. We are, y'all get this? We are Echad. We are one vessel. Yes. Yahusha goes as far as saying, when you seen me, you seen the next slide, please. Then we have the bridegroom, the husband, right? The katan, right? Or the hatan. It's the ket, the ta, and the noon, right? Ket, ta, noon. And we know the ket is the tent wall, right? It builds up something fortified, protection, and it leaves something on the outside. When you have a wall, like right now, we are surrounded by walls. Our vehicles are on the outside of the wall, correct? And it's something that brings something in half. It's a division of something, right? And the tie is a mark, but it's a picture of cross sticks, right? It's a mark, it's a sign, and it's for a signal, right? The Shabbat is for a sign, right? And then we have the noon, which is a seed. It's a continuance through a seed, right? And through that seed, you have an heir or an inheritance. Inheritance, right? So, the Strong's breaks it down as this: as one who undergoes circumcision or to have a relation with another bride through marriage. And then it gives a word as son-in-law, right? Son-in-law, because whenever you marry a woman, you become a son-in-law, right? So that happens through the marriage. So to break those words down, what I have is for the bride, it's a revelation through binding and submission. It's a revelation that comes out through yoking something together and through the submission, right? And that submission is through the bridegroom's mission. This is what the bride is submitting to. She is submitting to his mission. We are submitting to Yahuwah's mission. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Then we have the bridegroom. It's a sign or mark that protects the seed. It's a sign or mark that protects the seed, right? We know in the Torah it was circumcision of the foreskin of a man's member, right? Now it's the circumcision of your heart, right? It's inward, outward, from within to outward. Shaul says a Hebrew is a Hebrew that's what? Inward. But a Hebrew that's outward is greater in every way. See that? Because he's not only one inward, it pushes out. Right? The last time I was here, we were in another place. Now it has what? Pushed out. This is a new building. Hallelujah. See? It's manifestations. It's going to manifest what's inside of you because it's going to push out a beard, right? Zits, head coverings, speech, right? All of those things are going to be a manifestation of the sign of the circumcision, right? It's no longer just a circumcision of the flesh. Anybody can do that. But it's good. But it must start within now, right? We're not going to be able to boast about zits, a beard. Anybody can grow a beard. Anybody can put zits on. But who can submit to the... And then eventually, it's going to push out. It's going to look good on you. You're going to have a kavod or glory. You're going to be significant. That's what glory means. It means something significant. You ever walk up to somebody say, it's something about you. Come on now. It's just something about you. I can't put my finger on it. What they're saying is something that's them pushed out. It's a kavod. It's something significant about you. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You want to say something right here before we go forward?
I just want to. Okay. I just want to add too, with the bride, it had to bend, and we know as wives we have to be able to bend, being flexible, but not being broken, because we're having to do several tasks. We are the heads in the home. We have to teach our children. We have to take on several tasks, so that's bending for our mate. And we have to also remember that submission under his mission means we're all submitting to Yahuwah. There's only one Elohim. So when we're submitting to our husbands, it's not grievous because we're submitting to the Most High. And it's all for one mission. It's all for his glory, for his kavod.
Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. So we're going to get into this now. But before I go, I want to talk about the ketubah. Right? We don't have that in here. I just added that. The ketuna, right? It's a contract. Right? The ketubah, right? And that ketubah is just a lot of agreements. You make agreements when you come into this thing, right? We'll see where the Most High, we're going to look at that, where the Most High made agreements with them in Mount Sinai. That's telling you what I'm going to do and how this is going to benefit you, right? And we know a husband is to provide food, clothing, and conjugal rights to his bride, right? So just want to show that it is a contract. It's a binding. We see in I don't know if you, have you ever heard of challah bread or challah bread? What it is woven. Mm-hmm. It's woven together, right? It's a covenant, right? And then we break it and eat of it, right? And we do that a lot on Shabbat. A lot of people make challah bread on Shabbat, and especially during like feast days and whatnot, right? So it's a showing of a binding of a covenant. We see where Abraham made Elazar, which means helpmate. It made him weave a covenant with him before he went and finding what? Bride for Yitzhak or Isaac. He made him put his hand under his thigh. Y'all remember that? That was a binding agreement, a contract, a ketubah.
Yes.
A ketubah. All right? So let's look at Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22 and 23 is what we're going to look at. But I'm going to read that, some verses up before then, and then we're going to get into this. Because even though we have a covenant, Yahuwah is true to his covenant, but sometimes we are not. We got to look at that part too. Right? Sometimes a husband does not do his part. Sometimes a wife does not do her part. Sometimes neither one of them does their part. Because we're going to see that marriage is a mystery. All right. Let me get this together and we're going to get into this. All praise to the Most High. Everybody all right so far? Okay. Kind of understand the definition of those words and how they come about in the Hebrew before I go further, because eventually it's going to bring this teaching out and we're going to get a great understanding of it. So Ephesians chapter 5, we're going to start at verse 22 and we'll go down to 33. Hallelujah. So it says, women, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto Yahuwah. For the man is the head of the wife, or the husband is the head of the wife, even as Mashiach is the head of the called out assembly. And he is the savior of the body. So when you listen to this, you let your mind go up. Like you're looking at something that's physical, but it's spiritual. It first starts in the spirit realm, and it pushes out. Right? This is what Shaul is showing us. Okay? Then it goes on to verse 24. Therefore, as the called out assembly is subject unto Mashiach. We are the called out assembly, right? So let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. And like I said, this is the order. But again, keep in mind that oftentimes the husbands are on a bad mission. This is what we're going to bring this out. Sometimes the woman don't want to go on the good mission. Sometimes neither one of them don't know what they're doing, period. All right? Verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as she Moreh, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious called out assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. I just want to speak on that right quick. Without spot, without wrinkle, without blemish. Think about Revelation when he visited the assemblies. They all had a spot or wrinkle with it. Y'all remember that? So you see how that connects? Where he says he's coming looking for one without spot, wrinkle, or blemish. Same way with a marriage. A husband has to be able to cover a spot or wrinkle or blemish on his wife, because he should become perfect, without spot, without wrinkle, without blemish. This is the only reason he should be bringing her to himself. Marriage is a mystery. Because most marriages are off of lust. Then we find out this stuff is realer than we thought. We done wove ourselves into something that we really don't know about. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So this is what Shaul is breaking down. He's breaking down this, look. And then it says 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loves his wife loves himself. First of all, you got to love yourself, man. Got to be over traumatic experiences and all that stuff. Because you get ready to cover something. You got to first be covered before you even go out trying to cover something. That's a mystery. A lot of us, we just ain't never, nobody even knew this. This is why when Most High came down to Mount Sinai, they couldn't even hear him. They were like, man, you go talk to him. We don't want to bind ourselves into that. And the Most High said, okay, you're right. I'm going to send a what? Mediator. A man. A bridegroom. Moses. I'll let him marry you. That's why he said, Moses, go check on your people. They down there making idols. Moses said, who, me? He said, yeah, you. Go down there. Them your people. They got too many spots and wrinkles and blemishes for them. Deep. But I'm going to bring them out. Sooner or later, I'm going to send a bridegroom to them, and they're going to be ready for this covenant. Because I'm going to write it in their heart. In their mind. And they will never, ever separate from me again. The mystery is going to be revealed. They're going to be holding up their hands in the assembly. Say hallelujah. Because the revelation has come.
Hallelujah.
That they are the bride.
Teach, sir. Teach.
Verse 29. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it. That's right. Like how you gonna nourish and cherish somebody and you ain't even nourish and cherish yourself yet? Right. Come on, y'all better get this.
Hallelujah.
Even as Adonai or the called out assembly. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause and this cause only, y'all, shall a man leave his father and mother. Tell you stay at home. If you understand this. Shaul goes and tells you it's better not to touch a woman. Because you might not know what you're doing. He said, for this, you're going to have a lot of trouble in the flesh. It's hard because it's a mystery. Better stay home with mom and dad. And I know some wives have said that. I feel like I got a child again.
Walk it out, Elder. Come on. Walk it out. Wow.
She told me that. She told me that before, early in the marriage, because it was a mystery to me. It was a mystery. I'm trying to tell y'all this mystery. I'm trying to open up this mystery. I'm trying to let you hold up your hands. So when you sing in the assembly, you singing with a revelation. We're understanding. Right?
Wow.
Verse 32 said, this is a great mystery. But I speak concerning Mashiach and the called out assembly. He said, I'm speaking of something greater. It's talking about a man and a woman, but it's deeper than that.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself. He said, do that, and then the mystery will sooner or later be revealed. Keep doing good towards one another, and you'll soon see what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's good.
Deal with your marriage in particular. And the wife see that she reverence her husband. Keep doing that long enough, and you'll understand the deal with Yasharel and Yahoo. You'll understand what happened at Mount Sinai.
That's right.
When they came out of bondage, they came out of Pharaoh's house.
That's right.
And made an interweaving together with Yahuwah.
Come on, sir.
And because it was a mystery, they died in the wilderness.
Wow.
It's a mystery. It's a great mystery. Exodus 19.
While you're finding that,
Go ahead.
we as women have to be over our trauma too before we can't bring trauma into our relationships or into our marriage, because that is tearing down the house. And we know that a wise woman builds her house.
That's right.
A foolish woman puts it down. So we have to make sure that we deal with all trauma, even from childhood trauma, that has to be dealt with before you say, I do.
Ooh.
Or he has to know about it so that y'all can work it out together. That's something to look into also.
All praise to the Most High for that.
Good. That's good.
So this is what's going on. You're right on it, because they came out of Egypt with trauma.
Yes, they did.
So much trauma that they were hard of. Period. Moreh, Josh brought this out, I think last week, about that we are slaves. Then you have some that are elected slaves. They are brought out of that, right? They were slaves in Egypt. And enough slavery will sooner or later make you bitter and hard of hearing. You might have somebody say, man, I work all the time. All I do is work. So therefore, if you bring them a word of deliverance, it's going to be hard to hear it. Because all they do is, that's what they did down in Egypt. All they did was do hard bondage. When they were saying this, Pharaoh said, man, these people just trying to get out of work. They don't want to go serve Yahuwah in the wilderness. They're just trying to get out of slavery. But little did he know Yahuwah had elected those servants to come out of bondage. They just didn't believe it. We got to believe that Yahuwah has elected us. He has made us a called out assembly in the diaspora, in the midst of distress and commotion that's going on in the earth. He has allowed us to come out to a new building, not even made by our own hands. This building was prepared for you, and we in it.
Hallelujah.
In the midst of captivity. You must be married. You must be in a covenant.
Yes, sir.
It must be something inside of you
Yeah.
that's being revealed in 2020.
Hallelujah.
You must be written in the ketubah, the contract. That means heaven. Your name is written in heaven. That's where the ketubah at.
Hallelujah.
The ketubah is in heaven, and it comes down, and men witness it and sign on it.
Yes, sir.
It takes 2 or 3 witnesses
Yes, break it down.
to bring out a ketubah.
Wow.
By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be. That's why in a marriage, people love to go to a wedding. So they get what? Witnessing and recording. how this was written in heaven. Exodus 19. We're going to start at verse 1. We're going to skip around. Look what it says. In the 3rd month, when the children of Yasharel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, they came out. The same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai, for they were departed from Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Yasharel encamped before the mount. And Moshe went up into the mountain, saying, This shall you say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Yasharel, You have seen what I did unto the Mitzrites, or the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, guard my covenant. See, this is a bridegroom.
Yeah.
Huh? You hear that? You see that bridegroom coming up on him? He's telling what all I've done for you and what all I can do for you. Why you need to be with me and why I need to be with you. Come on, y'all.
Come on, sir. Come on.
Y'all like y'all, but those that married act like y'all didn't do it this way.
Come on.
Verse 4. He says, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself. See that? Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and guard my covenant. See, this is Ketubah getting together. Then you shall be a what? Peculiar treasure. He's telling what's in it for them. Unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. That's a great bridegroom right there. All this is mine.
Wait for body right there.
Huh? You got to marry him, right? And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak unto the children of Yasharel. So you see that he's sending Moses out as a bridegroom. It's going to manifest in a man. That's why Shaul said, keep loving your man.
Yeah.
And man, keep loving your wife, and you'll figure this out sooner than later.
Come on, sir.
But like I said earlier, sometimes we run into trouble because we have not understood this mystery. So let's go further. Let's go down to verse 14. Because now Yahuwah is coming down in a big cloud. And Moshe went down from the mount of the 10 people and sanctified the people. Right? And they washed their clothes. So we sanctify ourselves. Right? And then Yahuwah sets us apart after that. That's why they got to get the clothes and stuff washed. Because the bridegroom coming. Any wife that ever was able to get married, you got yourself together. Or you had your bridesmaid, get your hair and all that stuff together. You're sanctifying yourself. Getting yourself ready. Because you know he's coming. This is your wedding day. This is what they're doing. They need to get themselves ready for this marriage, for this covenant, right? Verse 15, and he said unto the people, be ready against the 3rd day. Come not at your wives. This right here is big. He said, don't even do any sexual. This thing, you got to be without spot, without wrinkle, without blemish. Once you take a shower, sit on your bed till you get there. You ever been waiting on a ride? And you had your clothes on for 2 hours. And you so clean, you won't move. Won't eat nothing, you don't brush your teeth, you make... Because he on the way to pick you up. That's what he said. Be ready. Don't even touch your wives. So that lets you know that a man is a part of this too.
That's good.
It shows you that a man got to be ready before he even come into covenant too. And it's on the 3rd day. 3 days in the grave. And resurrected new life. That's the only shine I'm going to show you. Jonah. Somebody who's been in the grave for 3 days. And when they resurrect with new life. A new covenant. old man passed away. Behold, all things are new. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the what? Shofar. It seemed loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim. And they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Yahuwah descended upon it in the fire. And the smoke thereof ascended to the smoke of a furnace. And the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the shofar sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by a voice. And Yahuwah came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount. And Yahuwah spoke. Called Moshe up to the mount, top of the mount, and Moshe went up. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto Yahuwah to gaze, and many of them perish. So it shows you that they couldn't really come into this thing all the way. This is why it's on us. Through his son. Once and for all. If you don't get it this time, ain't no more. Hallelujah. This was a shadow of things to, and we're living in it. It's here. If you're struggling in your marriage and stuff, you better go back and look at this stuff, because this is it. This is your last shot. They could not come into this covenant. Yahuwah said, don't you even come up here unless you die. Don't even gaze in here. They couldn't even look upon it. It was too weighty. It's a mystery. He hid it from him. The secret things of what? Yahuwah. It's a mystery. But it's coming out now, y'all. It's being revealed in the earth right now. What it is to be in love, and what it is to be loved by Yahuwah. Hallelujah. To the point, somebody might divorce you, man, about this stuff and marry Yahuwah.
You better say
y'all better come on, man. This stuff ain't no game now, man. We're playing this game now.
Come on.
That's right.
Verse 22. And let the priests also which come near to Yahuwah sanctify themselves, lest Yahuwah what? Break forth upon them. This covenant is real. It'll get you killed.
Yes, sir.
Play with it.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Come in this thing, don't sanctify yourself. He told them, even the priests, I kill them about what I'm about to do, because I need them and they need me.
Come on, sir.
So they can glorify me in the earth. Yahuwah want to marry. Yahuwah want to come in covenant. He gonna do it.
Come on.
Come in covenant with you. I want to marry you. To the point that he put us away, that he might come back and get us again. Because it tell you, if you can't, separate for what? For a time, a season, that you may what? Come back together.
Yes, reconcile.
Reconciliation. The ministry of reconciliation. Right? Verse 23. And Moshe said to Yahuwah, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you charge us, saying, set bounds about the mountain and sanctify it. And Yahuwah said unto him, away, get you down, and you shall come up, you and Aaron with you, but let not the priests and the people break through to come up to Yahuwah, lest he break forth against them. So Moshe went down unto the people and spoke unto them. You see what he's doing? He is going to be the bridegroom to them, right? But even Moshe said that that's what's coming after me.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all catching this? He said, it's a bridegroom that's coming after me.
Yes. Yahusha.
That's even greater than me. We even know that Moshe couldn't really understand this thing, that he what? Got frustrated and struck a rock. Got rough. It was a mystery. He didn't know what he meant to the assembly.
Yeah.
To the point that Yahuwah says, because you did not do that, it's time for you to come and lie down. You would not be able to take them into the promise. That's why it says they died without the promise. Why? Because they couldn't go in without us. That's what the book of Hebrews says. They were waiting on us for the revelation to come to us. Now we need to sit down with our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Abraham saw our day, and he was glad. Yahushua said, Abraham saw my day. He's talking about us. He saw this day. The day after Mashiach has come. It has risen from the dead, and revelation and knowledge goes out through the earth. And we begin to take on their mantles. Sarah, Abraham, Rebecca, all our fathers. We get to see and walk in their steps. We get to see what it is to walk in Emunah. Because they died without the promise, but they died in faith. They knew that something was greater to come. They knew that we would do greater works. See, continuance. We are the continuance. We have an inheritance. We have inherited the Ruach HaKodesh, the circumcision of our hearts. They were dealing with the circumcision of their flesh. He said, I'm going to make a new covenant. I'm going to put it on your heart. I'm not going to do it like I did in the days of Moses when they broke my. Y'all better get this, man. Y'all going to continue this thing. It's going to be so vivid. You're going to understand marriage. You're going to understand the holla, the weaving together. Your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Even the handmaidens. I'm going to pour my ruach on all flesh. Acts 2. That kind of salvation. That's what I saw here earlier when we were singing songs. That music was sounding so clear and vivid. Revelation coming out now. Let's look at Exodus 24 now. Now they're coming into this thing. They're about to say, I do. What my wife was bringing out earlier. But they just didn't know the seriousness of this. The I do part. Like many of us didn't know, right? Exodus 20 verse 1. And Elohim spoke all these words saying, I am Yahuwah, which have brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. Oh, my bad. Sorry. That sounds good too. Isaiah 24. That was good because he was letting himself be known. Yeah. Exodus 24 verse 1. And he said unto Moshe, come up unto Yahuwah, you Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Yasharel, and worship ye afar off. And Moshe alone shall come near Yahuwah. You see that? Moshe alone. But they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. Do you see this oneness? The same thing Yahushua keeps saying. I'm one with the Father. Moshe, you see this oneness. Verse 3. And Moshe came and told the people all the words of Yahuwah and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said what? All the words which Yahuwah has said will we do. You see this ketubah? Right? Let's weave it together. Verse 4. And Moshe wrote all the words of Yahuwah, ketubah, and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Yasharel. And he sent young men of the children of Yasharel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahuwah. You know, in weddings we always have best men, right? All that stuff. Verse 6, Moshe took half of the oxen of the blood and put it in basins, half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the books of the covenant and read in the elders of the people. And they said, all that Yahuwah said will we do. And be obedient. And be submissive, right? And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people. See this weaving together? The blood. The stuff is written in blood. It's deep. It runs deep, right? And he says what? And said, behold the blood of the covenant. The blood of the covenant. That's why Yahushua's blood over the doorpost. It's the blood of the covenant. That's why in Mitzrayim he had to what? Pass over them. They are under covenant. Went back to that cat, that wall. Something within, and it's something that they leave on the out. Disasters, wars and rumors of wars. But it won't come nigh thee.
Yeah.
Because you under the covenant. Right? The ketubah. And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people. And behold, the blood of the covenant which Yahuwah has cut with you concerning all these words. Right? Then it goes on and says, then went up Moshe and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Yasharel, and they saw the Elohim of Yasharel, and there was under his feet, as it were, paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Yasharel, he laid not his hand. Also, they saw Elohim and did eat and drink, right? And we know eating and drinking is coming into covenant, right? It's finished, right? We know that Mashiach says, you eat of this bread and drink of this blood. Covenant, right? We know that they did that during the Feast of Unleavened Bread with his disciples, with the Shalakim, right? And because Judas did not understand it, we know what happened to him. He drunk of it unworthily. See how this goes? This is what they're doing. They're coming to this covenant unworthily, not understanding or not discerning the body. That's why Shaul says, eat and drink at home. Why come up to the feast and partake of this? Unworthy. Many are sick because of it. Many are asleep, dead.
Right.
They died in the wilderness. Y'all see this?
Yeah.
Same thing. They sit down and ate after that, right?
Right. Because that's all they came for, is to eat.
Not discerning the body. That's why he said, eat and drink at home. Why come up to the feast greedily in your desire? Just want to get married for the sake of. Like the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage. Until something came on the earth suddenly. And they were taken away by the flood. That's why I told you Noah means comfort. We need a comforter. It's like the days of Noah. We got to get these things together. We need an able helper to take us away from the toil of our hands. That's what Noah was born for. When his son, when he was born, his father Lamech said, this is a son from Yahuwah that will comfort us in the toil of our hands. But because in those days, the ground was cursed because of men. It brought forth thorns and thistles. Unproductive stuff. Right? Working hard but not seeing the fruit of your labor. You ever been in a marriage like that? You ever been in a covenant like that? Working hard and ain't getting nowhere. So this is what Yahuwah is doing now. He's letting them know it's serious. Go ahead and go down and tell the people all my words and tell me what they say. And they say, I do. Not only will we do, we're going to be obedient to the ketubah, to the contract, to the agreements. Right? So, let's go now to the next slide. Hebrews 13, verse 4 to 5. Hebrews 13, verse 4 to 5. And we're going to read verse 4 to 5, yes. Hebrews 13, verse 4 to 5. Look what it says. Now that they are married, they came to the covenant. Shaul, the writer of Hebrews, give a great reference here, right, concerning marriage. And it says, marriage is honorable in all, in every way, right? and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and breakers of wedlock, Yahuwah will judge. Right? And this is what our ancestors eventually became. Right? And many of us got tied up in these things. Right? But blessed be Yahuwah, who have sent and given us a revelation of the bridegroom. And we were ready when he appeared. When the revelation came out in the earth that we were not so-called Christians, that we were not so-called Muslims and whatever else religion. We were and are the continuance of the covenant made at Mount Sinai. And we now understand the seriousness of it. We know that it's written in blood. It's a blood covenant. The blood was even sprinkled on the vessels of ministry. That's who we are. We are the vessels of ministry. The blood was so serious of a covenant, it was put on the vessels of ministry. It was put on the people. Right? So now it tells you that now that we in this thing, we got to understand that it's honorable. Right? So verse 5 says, let your conversation be without covetousness, because you're married. And be content with such things as you have, right? Because we know that the bridegroom, everything is his. But Yahuwah has said, I will what? Never leave you nor forsake you. Them are the words of a bridegroom. These are words of a good husband. Right. The words of a good man. I will never leave you nor forsake you. I'm going to provide for you through the agreement of the ketubah. Hallelujah. I'm a man of my word. Right. Yahuwah is not a man that he should what? Lie. Nor the son of man that he should what? Repent. Yeah. It's already written in blood. Ezekiel 16. Let's see how this thing played out. Ezekiel 16. And let's go with verse 1. Ezekiel 16, verse 1. Ezekiel says, again the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, Jerusalem, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations. And say, thus says Yahuwah unto Jerusalem, your birth and your nativity is of the land of Canaan. Your father was an Amorite, and your mother a Hittite. And as your nativity, in the day you were born, your navel was not cut. Wow. That means that nobody wanted to take you home. Nobody even wanted you to be cut off. That means you were still under bondage. Wow. Your umbilical cord, because if you don't cut that umbilical cord, you can't even take that baby home with you. Right. He said you were still connected to gods that were not gods. Amorites, Canaan gods. Right? Abraham came from the area. He left his father's house. Right. What we did, leave your mother and father, cleave to your. Wow. See that? Yahuwah said, it was no way you could escape that stuff. Wow. You were so connected that if the bridegroom didn't come, if I didn't make that covenant at Mount Sinai, do you know that we wouldn't even be here today? Because the covenant can't be broken. It's with the people. He's going to renew the covenant, but it's not a renewed covenant in the way that we think it is. The covenant ain't never went nowhere. It just we need a new bride.
Oh, wow. Come on here.
We need a new bride, and we need a new bridegroom.
Yes. Or renewed. It's really a renewal.
Born again.
gotta be born again. You have to die to the old man.
That's good.
The husband and the wife. Because we both understand this stuff is a mystery. Even though we saw our parents married, we didn't know really what that meant. We've been watching a lot of family members married. We grew up in married homes. We didn't, and most of them didn't know neither. Because the revelation of Mashiach Yahusha is great in the earth right now. A lot of people have not even seen him. That's why he said, blessed are you who have not even walked with me, but yet believe. Because you know why? It's by revelation. It's a man with his hands raised up in the assembly.
Hallelujah.
It's going to come like that. This is why Shaul says, I'm the least of the apostles. I went with you, Peter and James and all them, but when I came like a force. Because Shaul came in that thing by revelation. So much revelation that he said, I just went up to talk to James and Peter just because they were so-called pillars. So-called pillars. So-called pillars are renowned because of how Jerusalem was set up. He said, but what I'm coming with, a lot of people ain't going to understand, and they didn't. This generation right here, a lot of people don't understand you. Because you got revelation of the Ketuvah. You know what's written in it. And you are willing to obey it. Obedience is better than what? Sacrifice. That blood that was placed on him, that's one thing. That's a sacrifice. But now it's some people that's ready to obey. Now we ain't got to put no more blood on you now. Just hear and obey. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So he says what? He said, I brought you out. Verse 4 says what? Verse 5. No, verse 4. And as your nativity in the day you were born, your neighbor would not cut, neither were you washed in water to supple you. You were not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. You didn't have no clothes on. None I pitied you. To do any of these things unto you, to have compassion upon you, but you were cast out in the open field. To the loathing of your person in the day that you were born. And when I passed by you and saw you polluted in your own blood, I said unto you, when you were in your blood, live. Live. Can these dry bones live? Yea, I said unto you, when you were in your blood, live. I've called you to multiply as the bud of the field, and you have increased in wets and grape, and you are come to excellent ornaments. Your breasts are fashioned, and your hair is grown, whereas you were naked and bare. Basically what it's saying is you know you're a Hebrew Israelite now. But it's going to take more than that. Now when I passed by you and looked upon you, behold, your time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness. I swore unto you and entered into a what? Covenant with you, says Yahuwah. And you became mine. Y'all see this? Then washed I you with water. I thoroughly washed away your blood from you, and I anointed you with oil. I clothed you also with broaded work, and shod you with badger skin. And I girded you about with fine linen, and I covered you with silk. I decked you also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon your hands, and a chain on your neck, just like a bride, right? Setting her up. And I put a jewel on your forehead, and earrings in your ears, and a beautiful crown upon your head. This were you decked with gold and silver, and your raiment was fine linen and silk and broaded work. You did eat fine flour and honey and oil, and you were exceeding beautiful, and you prospered into a kingdom. And your renown went forth upon the heathen for your beauty, for it was perfect through my comeliness. which I had put upon you, says Yahuwah. Verse 15. Look at this. But you trusted in your own beauty. This is where it changes it, y'all. You see how that thing changed? Because it's a mystery. But you trusted in your own beauty. A lot of people doing this in this awakening. They came in this thing, found out who they wore, put ZZs on, chains, earrings, bracelets. A lot of people sell that stuff now. It's good. Hair wraps, earrings, and then that's as far as they could go. They began to raise up and play. Build a golden calf. Trusted in your own beauty and played the what? Harlot. Remember that bed we was talking about a while ago? Because of your renown, you got famous. Your name went out. The Hebrew awakening. Y'all better talk to me. I'm trying to show you it happened all the time. When they came out of Mizraim, they had a name renowned. Every place they went to, they already heard about them already. They went to Moab. And what did they do? Fall. 23,000 men fell by Baal Peor, the opening. The Lord of the opening. But it was awake. They were moving. But 23 men that didn't understand how to be a bridegroom. So they fell into harlotry because of their renown and poured out your fornications on what? That passed by. All the nations that we got scattered to. We began to worship gods of wood and stone. Then it says, his it was. All that beautiful stuff, he says, you turn it over to them. Because the fall of us is the riches of the world. We turn over all those things that came through the ketubah, and we gave it to the nations. It tells you, the fall of us is the riches in the glory of the world. 16, and of your garments you did take and deck your high places with diverse colors and played the harlot thereupon. It's talking about Baal worship, high places, right? The like thing shall not come, neither shall it be so. You have also taken your fair jewels of my gold and my silver, which I have given you, and made to yourself images of men, and committed whoredoms with them, and took your broader garments and covered them, and you have set my oil and my incense before them. My meat also, which I gave you, fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed you, you have even set it before them for a sweet savor. And this it was, says Yahuwah. Jumping over, verse 35. Wherefore, O harlot, hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus saith Yahuwah, because your filthiness was poured out, and your nakedness discovered through your whoredoms with your lovers, and with all the idols of your abomination, and by the blood of your children, which you did give unto them, behold, therefore I will gather all your lovers, with whom you have taken pleasure, and all of them that you have loved, with all of them that you have hated, I will even gather them round about against you, and will discover your nakedness unto them, that they may see all your nakedness. And I will judge you as wives that break what? Wedlock. And shed blood or judge. And I will give you blood and fury and jealousy. That's deep. This is what I was saying. Yahuwah needs us like we need him. He needs a bride. An able helper to glorify his name in the earth. Not defile his name amongst the heathen, but to exalt his name amongst the heathens that he has scattered us to. That's why we are displaced. But the bridegroom will visit you wherever you are. Let's go forward. Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 3. Jeremiah chapter 3. Before we go forward. We're going to go a little deeper now. Jeremiah 3, we're going to start with verse 1. So you see how this covenant is falling apart. We scattered. And many of us have turned over to gods that are not gods. Why? Because the bridegroom has left us. He's turned his face from his bride. Because of breaking of wedlock. The breaking of the ketubah. Breaking of the agreement. Let's look at 3. Verse 1. Jeremiah 3 verse 1. They say if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But you have played the harlot with many lovers. Yet return again to me, says Yahweh. Because you know we're trying to return back now, y'all. We're trying to return back to our Elohim. We're trying to return back to this covenant. Lift up your eyes unto the high places and see where you have not been lying with. And you know we have. We done dealt with the Easter Bunny, the Santa Claus. We done dealt with all kind of high places. Y'all know we have. We got scattered though. Where we gonna go? Right. The bridegroom, the good man, has gone and turned his face from us. He says, in the ways have you set for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, and you have polluted the land with your whoredoms and with your wickedness. Therefore the showers have been withheld, and there has been no latter rain. And you had a whore's forehead, stiff neck, right? You refuse to be ashamed. Y'all know we need help, but we refuse to be ashamed. We keep going harder, right? Will you not from this time cry unto me? My Father, you are the guide of my youth. That's what we're crying out now. Will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Will he turn his face forever? Will Yasharel always be a bond servant? Behold, you have spoken and done evil things as you could. Yahuwah said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, have you seen that which backsliding Yasharel has done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there she played the harlot. And I said, after she had done these things, turn you unto me. But you returned not. And her treacherous sister Yehuda saw it. Look at this. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Yasharel broke wedlock, I had put her away and given her a book of divorce. A letter of divorce. So we see it can't happen.
That's right. Okay.
Yet her treacherous sister Yehuda feared not. Even after seeing them get divorced, they just keep going. But went and played the harlot also. So we know that both houses have failed.
Come on, sir.
The northern and the southern kingdom fell into this and despised the covenant of Mount Sinai. Verse 9, and it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom, she took the stuff lightly, that she defiled the land and broke wedlock with stones and stocks. And yet for all this her treacherous sister Yehuda has not turned unto me with her whole heart, but vainly, says Yahuwah, halfway. That's what that means. And Yahuwah said unto me, the black backside of Israel has justified herself more than treacherous Yehuda. Yehuda was treacherous. Because that's where the site was. That's where the temple was at. They started doing it inside the temple. Even the priests, everybody went into whoredoms. one was righteous, no, not one. Now we start understanding 70 AD, where he surrounded them, all kind of, we know it's really the Roman authority, right? But it's a conglomerate that surrounded Jerusalem at that time, to the point that it was terror within and terror without. It was neighbor against neighbor and man against, to the point that Yahusha says, you're going to have to flee to the, and I pray that your travel is not in the winter, on the Sabbath. And woe to you if you have a son, somebody that's breastfeeding. You probably going to have to leave them. Because of what? This covenant. This mystery that they don't know about. It's going to bring a lot of commotion and stuff on the earth. Yeah. That's why it's got commotion now, because people coming back to it. Come on, so when people go away, it's going to be terrible. Wait till they come back. It's going to be a great shirking in the earth. There's going to be a bunch of people confounded. They ain't going to know what's going on, but we do. That's why we in the sitting with our hands, because we got no revelation of what's going on. And therefore we are comforted while everybody else is mourning. Blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be. 70 AD was a mourning like never before. We are descendants of those people, y'all. We are the descendants of those that escaped that judgment. We are the sons of the prophets, the daughters of the prophets. Hallelujah. We are the escaped remnant. We are soul survivors. I'm going to say it again. We are soul survivors. You got to have a different kind of soul to survive what we have survived. We survived a great tearing away. I told you about the hollow bread that's woven. That hollow bread was broken. Yahuwah telling us. But he does not anger forever. So let's go. And Hebrews 8. Hebrews 8. Start with verse 1. Hebrews 8, verse 1. Now the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of majesty. Somebody sung a song like that earlier. In the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which Yahuwah pitched and not man. For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices, wherefore it is of the necessity that this man has somewhat also to offer. We gotta have something to offer. Yes, sir. If we teaching the Basora and we in these assemblies and stuff right now, we must have something to offer. If it ain't that but some watermelon, I see watermelon or something up there, right? Some kind of food look like somebody got something to offer. All right? It's a great day. For if we were on earth, we should not be a priest. Seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the Torah, who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moshe was admonished of Yahuwah when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, says he, that you make all things according to the pattern showed to you in the mountain. But now has he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. That goes back to what we talked about earlier. Because they made a covenant at Mount Sinai, but it was fault found in it. It was fault with the people. That's the only fault. Why does it say found fault with the covenant? Because we became one with the covenant. We were Yahuwah's covenant in the earth. Yahuwah said if he break covenant with us, he going to break covenant with the sun, moon, and stars.
Come on.
Y'all better understand this mystery.
Come on, sir.
He said, if I forget about my covenant that I made with my covenant, I will forget about all this stuff. I will even forget about me.
Yeah.
It ain't no need for me if I ain't got a bride. It ain't good for man to be alone. Yahuwah said, I get bored without my people. Because everything is mine. All I'm missing is some people. I'm just missing somebody that's called by my name. See? That's why you called by my name. I'm trying to show you how this stuff is going to manifest on the earth. Because it's in heaven first. He showed it to Moses. And then he said, I'm going to bring it down. It's going to have a better promise to it.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning you couldn't see. But now you have eyes to see and ears to hear. You're no longer hard of hearing. You ain't hard of hearing no more. My sheep know my voice.
Right.
And they what?
Yeah. And also, he's looking for somebody his people to represent him well. To represent him in a way that he's pleased with. Like an earthly husband. Like a wife is supposed to represent her husband in a way that he's pleased with. That is the type of wife Yahuwah is looking for. Not only you call by his name, but he's going to be honored that you have his name. Because of how you live in the earth, how you walk in the earth, how you display his glory, his kabod in the earth.
Who is man that he's mindful of? Verse 6. But now has he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. That's why he said, I'm going to destroy these people and make a new people through you. Let me tell Moses that. The fault is with the people, y'all. Verse 8. For finding fault with them. For finding fault with them. He says, behold, the days come, says Yahuwah, when I will cut. That's a beret. Beret is a cut. A covenant. Beret. That's why it calls the beret Hadashah. The renewed covenant. We'll cut a renewed covenant with what? The house of Yasharel. And with the house of Yehuda. I heard somebody say, Yehuda, where you at? When we were getting ready to sing a while ago. I said, Yehuda, where you at? I said, Yehuda, where you at? That's a song. I said, Yehuda, where you at? Right? Not according to the covenant that I cut with their fathers. In the day when I took them by the what? Hand. Married, y'all. To lead them out of the land of Egypt. Because they what? Continue not in my covenant. And I regarded them what? I regarded them not as my wife. I turned my head. I was ashamed of them. Because they was ashamed of me. Right? Look what it says. Verse 10. For this is the covenant that I will cut with the house of Yasharel after those days, says Yahuwah. I will put my Torah in their mind. Meditating on it day and night, y'all. Blessed is he that meditates on his word day and night. It's always on your mind. And write it in their hearts. And I will be their Elohim. I will be their Elohim, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahuwah. Nobody ain't going to tell you that right now. Now, if you meditate on it all day and night, you know him. That's a consummation.
Yeah.
You got to consummate on marriage. If you consummate with your husband, if you consummate to your wife, ain't nobody got to tell you nothing about them. You know them. You consummated with them.
Come on, sir.
See, people waiting on this. Come on, this is a future prophecy. There ain't no future prophecy. That's now. It must be I was waiting for him to write it in my heart. Well, you ain't married. He still got his face turned from you then. That's why Mashiach said, in that day, men ain't going to say, I did this and that. He said, I never what?
Knew you.
It's consummated. It's all about the bride and bridegroom. Look what he said. And they shall know every man, they should not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know Yahuwah. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. I will pour my ruach on all flesh, even your sons and daughters. Even your sons and daughters shall know me. That's that new, that's that continuance, that's that inheritance.
Yes.
People are going to start coming into this promise. They ain't got to teach them. Because they already consummated.
Come on, sir.
He speaks to them. They know his voice. And they follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. Verse 12. For I will be what? Merciful to their unrighteousness. That means he's going to forgive your iniquity. He's going to cover your sin. Blessed is the man whose sins are covered, whose iniquity is not imputed to him.
Yes, sir.
That's all that's talking about. David is a man after Yahuwah's own heart. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness in their sins, in their toilless deeds. Will I remember no more. So when that happens, when you are truly forgiven, don't nobody have to teach you about how to walk with him. Because you looked around everywhere, what you say earlier, Pastor, and you didn't find nobody. But when he found you, and you found him, anybody got to teach you about him no more. You should never leave him, and he should never leave you, because you consummated that marriage.
Hallelujah.
You have seen what happened to our fathers. So in the day of provocation, you ain't gonna harden your heart. When he pricked your heart, you're gonna hear and obey. So you can come into his what? Rest. Because they did not enter into his
Rest.
But the rest of y'all still remains for the who?
People of y'all.
He that is heavy laden, come. Put on my yoke. For my yoke is easy. That's bridegroom words, y'all.
Yes.
They didn't have a bridegroom words.
Hallelujah.
Right? Verse 13. In that he says, a renewed covenant, he has made the first old. The first what? First Adam. In the first Adam we all, second Adam we all.
Yeah.
The first man is carnal. The second man is
Spiritual.
renew the covenant, y'all. In that he says a renewed covenant has made the first old. Now that which decays, that's the flesh, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Come on, y'all. That's the carnal man. It's decaying. It's passing away.
Come on, sir.
The first time you got married, it was on lust. The lust of your eyes, the lust of your flesh, and the pride of life. That's got to go. So we can get a new beret. A new covenant. That's why every now and then somebody may renew their vows. That means it's something that's got covered in their marriage. And they get ready to what? Keep going. They found fault one with another. And they was able to what? Work it out. Stay married long enough. You're going to do that.
Yes, sir.
You have to work out something. And it's going to have to what? Pass away. You can't keep bringing it back up either. Just let it what? Pass away. Just let it decay. Hallelujah. Now that which decays and waxes old is what? Ready to what? Vanish away. That's why some people come and they look at you and you ain't there no more.
Come on, sir.
They still try to make you out to be the old you. Trying to stir you up to argue and fight. Let's go. Huh? Trying to still make you stumble in your old ways. Might bring up something in your past. But you let them know that it's decayed and has waxed old. That's right. Because if I was the same, it wouldn't be no need for a renewed covenant. Mashiach wouldn't have no need to die and rise again. Jonah would have no reason to be thrown in the deep. I say in the deep to wrestle with Leviathan. Something that a lot of people can't come back from.
That's right.
If that was the case, it wouldn't be no need for me. But praise Yahuwah that he subjected us to the old us in hope. Hallelujah. In hope that we would come into the assembly of the Kodashim and raise up holy hands and sing praises from the fruit of our lips. Hallelujah. That it be a sweet smoke aroma to his nostrils. Huh? That he may receive it, right? And come down in the temple and set a fire in here. Huh? Set off a fire like my sister did earlier. Set a fire off. And then we speak with a new tongue or something. And give an interpretation in the assembly. Somebody come with a word. Somebody come with a song. Right? Let's finish this up. Hallelujah. Let's go to Matthew 9. See what Mashiach says about this. Matthew chapter 9. So they're looking for the old you. And it's waxed old. Matthew 9. We're going to start at verse 14 and 15. 2 verses. Then came to him his disciples of Yehuda, saying, why do we and the Pharisees fast often? But your disciples fast not. Yahushua said unto them, catch this, can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them?
Come on, sir.
But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them. And then shall they fast. No man puts a piece of new cloth into the old garment. It's passing away, y'all. For that which is put in to fill up takes from the garment. Yes, sir. It'll mess it up, y'all. Yes, sir. We can't do that old stuff that we used to do. It don't go with the new you. And the writ is made worse. It just makes us worse. We can't be lukewarm no more. That's right. We got to be either hot or cold. Being lukewarm just makes us worse. Come on, sir. Neither do men put new wine into old wineskin. Go back to that waxing old. Else the wineskins break and the wine runs out. It's about this oil that we about to take on, y'all. And the wineskins perish. Can't handle it. But they put new wine into new wineskins and both are what? Preserved. Praise Yahuwah for preserving us. For this new wine. For this latter rain, y'all. Hallelujah. We are part of this latter rain. The things that a lot of our forefathers and foremothers weren't able to obtain. Because a lot of them was lukewarm. They did not understand the Beret, the covenant. Now that we understand it, we going all the way. To the point that it pushes out to another building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The first building can't hold you no more. Y'all better come on, man. The old building makes you just look worse. We need a building with more seats in it. We need a building downtown. Making it easier to find. Right off the highway. We got to get a revelation, y'all. It's too hard to find the old building. Something happened there that we can't go back there no more. There's an old ruach in that building. We need a fresh anointing. We need new wine and new oil.
You just outgrowing the old.
You outgrowing the old you.
Hallelujah.
Bring out a new song. That nobody don't know why you singing it. A song that no man knows. A man, that's what he said. He said, baby, what was that song I was humming on the way up here? He said, hold up, I forgot. And then the Ruach brought it to him. Remember, he said, thank you, Yahuwah.
Downloaded it to him.
Downloaded it to him.
That's what he do.
It's a new song.
Hallelujah.
He said, I know y'all ain't never heard it, but somebody help me sing this. I just started saying, I didn't really know the song. So I lip syncing the song, right? Jeremiah 7, hallelujah. So Yahuwah said, Yahushua was telling the people, he said, man, they ain't fasting because I'm with them. But it'll be a time that the bridegroom is going to be taken away.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a time that we're going to be seeking the Most High Yah, right?
Yeah.
Through prayer and through fasting, right? We're going to think that we're all alone, right? Somebody might say, all the trouble I see. Nobody knows the trouble I see, right? Deuteronomy 28 talks about it, the blessings and the curses.
That's right.
The curses long, man. That's when the bridegroom done left you. So you got to tarry and wait on it. Jeremiah 7, verse 12. Verse 12. It says, but you go now unto the place which was Shiloh, where I set my name in the firs, and see what I do to it for the wickedness of my people, Yasharel. And now because you have done all these works, says Yahuwah, and I've spoken to you, rising up early and speaking, but you heard not. And I called you, but you answered not. Therefore will I do this house, which is called by my name, wherein you trust, into the place which I gave to you and your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh. And I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast all your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. Shiloh was in the northern kingdom. That's why I said that, right? And we know Shiloh or Ephraim, the northern kingdom, they turn into their idols. But now Yehuda is doing the same thing. So he said, I will do you like I did Shiloh. Verse 16. Therefore pray not for this people. He said, I got to leave them. Remember Yahushua said, it'll be a day that the bridegroom will leave you. He said, don't even pray for them. Neither lift up cry nor prayer for them. Neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear you. See you not what they do in the cities of Yehuda and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood and the fathers kindle the fire. And the women knead their dough to make sacrificial wafers to the queen of heaven. That's all these pagan holidays, y'all. Ishtar and whatnot. And to pour out drink offers unto other Elohim, that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger, says Yahuwah? Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Therefore this says Yahuwah, behold, my anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man and upon beasts, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn and shall not be quenched. That's what we have to understand. The fire towards Yehuda is still burning.
Yeah.
It's either going to consume you or it's going to make you vessels of gold and silver. Purify, my brother said. It's always burning to, because he's what? Jealous towards his wife. The bridegroom do not play with the bride. He loves her so much, he gave his only begotten son. Therefore, it's a forever fire burning towards us. My sister said, it's a fire shut up in my bones. I got a praise, a hallelujah deep down in my soul, because it's always burning towards me.
Come on, sir.
It's either going to bring forth praises or curses out of my mouth.
Yes, sir.
That's why you see what our people are about.
Right.
They got a filthy conversation or they got a set apart conversation. Because Yahweh will burn you up.
Yes.
They're going to find out what type of wife you are.
Yes.
What type of vessel are you? A vessel of honor or what?
Dishonor.
This is why he said it's going to be a forever fire and it's not unquenchable. Can't nobody put it out. That's why you can't stop this movement that's going on in the earth right now.
That's right.
It's like fire going across all the world. He said, they're going to know that I'm your Elohim and you're my
People.
because I'm going to set a fire in the earth. And I wish it was already kindled. That's what Mashiach said. He says, it's a fire that's coming. And I wish it was already started. And it done got started, y'all. Jeremiah 16. Jeremiah 16, verse 1. Jeremiah 16, verse 1, we're going to go to 9. The word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, you should not take a woman, neither shall you have any sons or daughters in this place. For this saith Yahweh concerning the sons and daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bore them, and concerning the fathers that beget them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. And they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcass shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. When you read this is when you can look in the news and find out what's going on in the earth with us.
That's right.
It's a fire with us, man. It's sad, but it's true. I want you to get this understanding. Yahuwah don't play with us.
Right. No, we don't.
He loves us so much that he would rather see us die and marry another. He told you to Moses that I would kill all of them, Moses, and marry you only.
Come on,
Yes.
sir.
Moses tried to intercede. He said, yeah, I hear you right now, but they still ain't going in. I'll deal with them later. He still ain't making it in the rest. Who don't play with his bride? Because he saw us tied to the stuff that we've been tied to. I told you earlier, we were tied to an umbilical cord, and could nobody cut it off but him. And when he did that, that's why he brought. He said, look what I did for you. I dressed you up and all that, and then you did this. So it's like a man talking to his wife. That's why you see a man go kill his wife
Oh, somebody.
in anger and stay there and wait till the police come and get him. Long as he took her out, he don't care.
Wow.
That's Yahuwah, y'all. That's what he's saying. He said, I'm going to take him out with a sword. If that don't work, it's going to be famine. It's going to be police will shoot him in the head. There's no game out here. Because there's somebody out here that's coming back to the bride, and there's somebody that's confused about this.
That's right.
And if you're confused, you get ready to get taken out. You don't understand this covenant. You don't understand that you are the apple of his eye. He has a forever fire burning towards you.
Yes, sir.
Until it consume you or purify you and make you a vessel of ministry. Because he needs you like you need him. He needs his name to go out through all the earth.
Yes.
That men might fear him.
Yes.
That all the nations might bow to him. And bow down to his people. Because everywhere we went, we worshiped their Elohim. Now he said, I I need a people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a people. And I'm going to put this in their heart. And I'm going to set a fire out through the earth. Because they can't get away from me. I have mercy on them and they know it. Because they looked all around the world. They found nobody.
That's right.
And when they find this somebody, they're going to go tell everybody.
That's right. That's right.
And they're not going to be ashamed of me before men.
Hallelujah.
Therefore, I will not be ashamed of them before the Father.
Yes.
I will present them to the Father without spot, without wrinkle, without blemish. That's what Yahushua HaMashiach did. That's what Moses did.
Yes.
They were not ready. It's on us now. We have no excuse because we have a better sacrifice than Abel. Abel's blood cried out from the earth. Who cried out from the earth now? We are. If you won't do it, somebody is in their closet, in their homes. Somebody understands this covenant now.
That's right.
And somebody is crying out from the earth with tears of joy. And Yahuwah is going to recompense that in the earth. So look what he said, verse 5. For this says Yahuwah, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people, says Yahuwah, even loving kindness and mercies. This is Deuteronomy 28, y'all. Both the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried. Neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make ball for them. And we know these were rituals. That's why he says, don't cut yourself. Because that's what they were doing. They couldn't find Elohim. And we know the prophets of Baal was doing this. Started cutting on themselves. Because the Elohim could not see or what. And I know sometimes we do felt like that, y'all. That's why we used to get tattoos and stuff calling us. Because Yahuwah turned his face from us. And we just start mourning the dead. R.I.P. this, R.I.P. that.
Yeah.
T-shirt for my dead homie. Because we saw a lot of sword and pestilence. Yahuwah said it. He said, man, don't even bemoan them. So guess what we started doing? We started bemoaning the dead. We had no hope. We had no hope. That's why you better be glad today, man. That you ain't cutting on yourself like that man in the graveyard.
Yeah.
When Yahushua ran up on him, he was in the northern kingdom from Gad. The area of the Gadarenes, cutting on himself in the graveyard, sitting amongst the dead. That's who we used to be. In the church house, sitting amongst the dead. Graveyard full of headstones.
Yes.
Surrounded by dead.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
A funeral every week. I remember when I was a little boy. Stayed in the church house with funeral. Cupcakes and macaroni and stuff. And they eating for the dead. That's what he said he did to us. Because of this covenant, y'all. And it's still happening to this day. We look at it on the news. Somebody sleep in the Wendy's and get shot for that. You don't understand the covenant.
Right.
Better wake up.
That's right.
I didn't sleep in the parking lot 2 o'clock in the morning drunk to about your daughter's birthday tomorrow. You better wake up here. You should be at home with her.
Hallelujah.
Killed for that right now. Because Yahuwah got a fire burning after Yehuda. He ain't playing.
Stop.
That's right.
You're going to fear Yahuwah before it's over. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. But back to the covenant. Verse 7. Neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning to comfort them for the dead. Neither shall men give them the cup of consolation to drink for their father or for their mother when they lose their children in the streets. No cup of consolation. They hollering right now for justice and they can't find it. Give you a little piece of money. Don't know who they are. They don't understand. Marriage is a mystery. Shaul said it's a mystery. If you don't understand a mystery, it's going to be concealed and you're going to get killed by that. That's why wild in the guy. You better understand this mystery. It's written in heaven. coming down. But many have eyes that's still blind by the God of this world. Has blinded them. Not that our teaching blinded them. They have been blinded by the God of this world. We're making it plain.
Yeah.
But he has given them eyes that they can't see and ears that they can't, that they may fall backwards.
Wow.
It is sad, but he said it ain't really sad. It's just a fire that's coming out from me. I'm jealous towards my wife. I remember I brought you out of your blood when nobody wanted to deal with you. When you were brought up out of the nativity of Canaan, Canaanite gods. Y'all know the history of Canaan. I brought you out of that. Your father Abraham left his father's house, him and his wife Sarah and their nephew Lot. I call him a Hebrew, he that crossed over.
Yeah.
Verse 8, Jeremiah 68. You shall not also go into the house of feasting to sit with them to eat and drink. That's the club. Them others in the club, drinking around, married to the club, married to the streets. In that eating and drinking like the days of Noah. Until somebody come and shoot that up. It's a fire burning. I'm trying to show you this fire, y'all. For thus says Yahuwah Sabaoth, the Elohim of Yasharel, behold, I will cause to cease, catch this, out of this place in your eyes and in your days, the voice of what? Mirth. And the voice of gladness. The voice of what? The bridegroom. And the voice of the what?
Right.
Need a comforter. Nothing to be happy about no more. Some people can't get happy about nothing. You go to a restaurant, go through the drive-thru, you can't even come in here.
Come on, sir.
You go to a club, 10 people in here. I'm taking away the mirth and the gladness. If you ain't got the bridegroom, you in trouble.
Come on, sir.
Come on.
You in the land of your captivity, and plus, you can't even party and eat and drink no more. On the 4th of July, you scared. Stay at home. Stuff getting real. That's how serious he is about his wife. The bride and the bridegroom. Y'all better get this about this bride and bridegroom. Because the bridegroom coming. He said, I come quickly. Like a thief in the night. Let's go for it. Let's go to Joel. Joel chapter 2. Because the bridegroom, he got to come back in though. He will not leave his bride. It just might be a new bride. But it's going to be a bride. I told you the old bride got to what? Pass away. Right? That he may what? Marry another. It's the same person, but it's just a new man. It's a new woman. He done took off corruption and put on
Incorruption.
Look at Joel chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 12. Therefore also says Yahuwah, turn ye even to me with your whole heart. Talk to his wife. And with what? Fasting. What did Mashiach say? He says, it's going to be one day the bridegroom leaves, you're going to have to what? Fast. And with what? Weeping. And with mourning. And rend your what? Heart. And not your what?
Garments.
What did we just read? He said, don't even rend your garments for them. That's why he said, ain't no more rending your garments, all that. Just rend your heart.
Yes.
And turn unto Yahuwah, for he is what? Gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repents of the evil. He does not anger forever towards his what? Wife. He'll just separate from her for a time and come back together. Unless he get room for who? Satan. Because if not, we would be like Sodom and Gomorrah. If he didn't save a what? Remnant. Verse 14. Who knows if he will what? return and repent and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto Yahuwah Elohim. Blow the shofar in Zion. Sanctify a fast. Call a solemn assembly. Gather the people. Hallelujah. Thank you for this gathering. Sanctify the assembly. What did Moshe and them do earlier? He sanctified the assembly. They washed their clothes. They did not come to their wives. Assemble the elders. Hallelujah for the elders. Gather the children in the house. And those that suck the breast, bring them too. Let the bridegroom go forth out of his chamber. You get ready to come back in. Are you ready? He's back. And the bride out of her what? Closet. Out of her closet. She's been waiting. Let the priests, the ministers of Yahuwah, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare your people, O Yahuwah, and give not your heritage to reproach. That the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their Elohim? Where's their bridegroom? Because we know we wouldn't be going through this unless a rock turned us over, right? So now, Isaiah 54. Let's go 61. Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61. Y'all still with me? Yes, I'm about to wrap it up. Isaiah 61, verse 10 and 11. Isaiah 61, verse 10 through 11. I will greatly rejoice in Yahuwah. My soul shall be joyful in my Elohim. For he has clothed me with the garments of salvation. He has covered me with the robe of righteousness. As a what? Bridegroom decks himself with ornaments. And as a bride adorns herself with her jewels. For as the earth brings forth her bud, and as the garden causes the things that are sown in it to spring forth, so Yahuwah will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations. Even though it has looked bleak, know that the bride is planted in the earth. Yes, sir. Yahuwah has a bride in the earth. Yes. We just find out who he and she is. Yeah. That's what we're finding out now. Hallelujah. We're finding out the true Israel. Yes. All of Israel ain't Israel. That's right. But Israel is planted in the earth. Right. And it's going to be a time in the latter rain that they're going to bud forth. Yes. With singing and what? Dancing. Isaiah 62. Start with verse 1. For Zion's sake will I not hold my what? And for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest. Until the what? Righteousness thereof go forth as brightness and salvation. Therefore, as a lamp that burns, and the other nations shall see your righteousness. They're going to know that I'm your Elohim and you're my people. And all kings your glory, and you shall be called by a what? New name, yes. Which the mouth of Yahuwah shall name. You shall also be a crown of glory in the hand of Yahuwah, and a royal diadem in the hand of your Elohim. You shall no more be turned forsaken. He said, I will never forsake you nor abandon you, right? You ain't got to go through that no more again. Hallelujah right there. Hallelujah. No longer should you say that. Neither shall your land anymore be turned desolate. You're going to bring forth fruit, Miss Parker. But you shall be called Hephzibah, and your land Beulah. For Yahuwah delights in you, and your land shall be married. For as a young man marries a virgin, so shall your sons marry you. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your Elohim rejoice over you. He's going to make known his bride, y'all. I have set watchmen upon your walls. Right? We've been waiting on this. O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahuwah, keep not silence. And give him no rest till he establish it, till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Till he fully form his bride. Yes. Hallelujah. You got to keep going to it. Don't a bride goes to the bridegroom? Don't a husband submit to a husband? If she has a question, does she? Wife submit to her husband? Anything that she need to know? And by the arm of his strength, surely I will no more give your grain to be meat for your enemies. You're going to enjoy the fruit of your labor, right? And the sons of the stranger shall not drink your wine, for which you have labored, y'all. For they that have gathered it shall eat it and praise Yahuwah. And they that brought it together shall drink it in the courts of holiness. Remember when they had their feast together in Mount Sinai, into the covenant? That's what we're doing now. In the courts, in the Mishpachah, in the temple, in this building, we eat and drink when we come together now. But now we're doing it in holiness. We're not doing this in vain. We know this covenant that we have partook in now. So we eat and drink with understanding. There's no condemnation to this now, right? We're in a different court, right? We understand that we are in the presence of Yahuwah, right? So let's go now to next slide. John 14, verse 1 through 3. John 14, verses 1 through 3. Now we can understand this, what Mashiach is saying here, right? John 14, verse 1 through 3. He said, let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in Yah, believe also in me. He's talking about being the bridegroom, right? Just like a husband, like a wife has to believe that her husband been sent by Yahuwah, right? In my Father's house are many. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go what? To prepare a place for you. That's a bridegroom. That's a bridegroom. This is why when they went and got Rebekah, Isaac brought her to his mother's tent, already prepared for her. Right? Yahusha said, I got a place prepared for you. I will come again and receive you unto myself. I bore you on eagle's wings. I brought you out of sin bondage. I brought you out of Egypt. Come and wear my yoke, not the yoke of sin, not the yoke of Egypt, not the yoke of physical abuse, harlotry and whoredoms, but righteousness, peace, right? I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Genesis 24, just to bring out some context in that. Genesis 24, we're going to look at our father, Yitzhak, right? We talked about that earlier, where his father Abraham sent forth his servant or his slave, Elazar, which means Yah is my help, right? Or Yahuwah's helper. And we know that the Ruach is a helper, right? And it goes, and it allows us to go forward with power. It allows us to stand, right? In times of distress and commotions, when things are shady or cloudy around us, we have something to stand. It's a strong tower, right? And this is what Elazar was to Abraham, to the point that he almost inherited his whole house, right? But we know that the Comforter went out to bring in the Son, right? The Son, which is the noon, the seed, the continuance of Abraham's house, right? And that's why we got to understand we are the children of Abraham. But you can't just say that, because he can make the seed of Abraham out of a stone. We have to repent, right, of all sins and the sins of our fathers, right, and be immersed into this thing. We got to be fully immersed, right? Genesis 24, verse 58 through 67, all right? And I don't know who's familiar with this story, but this is a great story. If you ever get a chance to read the whole thing, where Yahuwah calls Abraham to bring his servant, which was ruler over his whole house. Right? It said that Moses was faithful in his whole house. But Moses was a servant. Right? And he couldn't abide in the house forever. Something greater had to come. That's why we have better promises. And the earth is waiting for us to appear. Bud out of the earth. His wife. Right? The bride. The earth has been waiting. It's going to earthquakes, tornadoes, and landslides. It's because of us. We're bringing this out. Because something is budding out of the earth. So the earth has to shake. The earth is no longer going to what? Cover it. It's held it long enough. He says, once again, I'm going to shake heaven and earth. Anything that's not established is going to be what? Moved. It's got to shake heaven. These things have to happen. That's what Mashiach was saying. But it's your redemption. Redemption of what? The bride. So rejoice when you see these things, y'all. It's your budding. When you see the fig tree budding, that's you. Genesis 24, verse 58. And they called Rebekah and said unto her, will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. Same context, y'all. I do. Right? She's willing to go with the bridegroom. She's ready. Verse 59. And they went away. And they sent away Rivkah, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant, and his men. And they blessed Rivkah and said unto her, you are our sister. Be the mother of what? Thousands of millions. And let your seed possess the gate of those which hate them. What a blessing. I'm telling you, that's y'all are the matriarchs of the day. That's what I'm looking at. Rivkahs. Those that said, I do. I'll go with you. You're the mother of millions. That's an innumerable. You can't count it. It's like the stars. And let your seed possess what? The gate of those which hate them. You're in the land of your captivity. Walking around like Rebecca. Come on, y'all. Y'all, how did you get in here? How did you bud in the land of your enemies? It's a mystery. Because the bridegroom gonna find you there. The bridegroom gonna come anywhere to get you.
Yes, sir.
Y'all don't know that about no good man.
Hallelujah.
You can go back through the scripture. Abraham went and got Lot. He was a captive. David went and got his wives and their children.
Yes, he did.
They were in captivity. That's a bridegroom. Y'all don't know that about no bridegroom. The bridegroom would lay down his life.
That's right.
You will possess the gate of your enemy if you say I do and be obedient to it. Because they asked her, they said, can you do this? Do you want to go with this man? Her family didn't want to let her go.
That's good stuff.
That's how powerful marriage. Y'all don't know that about it. A man that find a wife find a
Good thing.
Y'all got loud on that.
And that's how good Rivkah was. They knew how good of a helper she was. That's why they didn't want to let her go.
Wow. So that's powerful what you just said, because when Eleazar went in, he found her fetching water. He said, Yahuwah, give me a sign. What kind of woman I need to take back? And she was hospitable. A woman of great hospitality. A woman that's in Proverbs 31. He saw it automatically, and he was happy because he did what he was sent out to do. That's what a comforter does. It's going to do what it's sent to do. It's going to bring back what a regular navigator can't do. You can't even do what the Ruach does. The Ruach prays for stuff that you don't even know about.
Right. Wow. Right.
It says the Ruach prays for you.
Thank you.
Mashiach told Peter, I'm praying for you. You will deny me, but I'm praying for you, and you're going to bounce back.
Come on, sir.
Y'all don't know nothing about a comforter, man. A comforter will help you bounce back.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will.
That's why it ain't good to be alone.
That's right.
Two is better than one. When one falls, the other can what?
Pick them up.
Pick them up.
My. Yes.
Somebody might have a good friend. Don't let him go. It's a friend that sticks closer than a
Brother. That's right.
We need these type of things in this hour, y'all.
Right.
And the son of Elohim needed this. Yitzhak. Abraham knew this. He says, he done lost his wife. Sarah's dead. He said, for me to continue, I must find my son a comforter. Ain't that something? Y'all don't get this. For me to continue. Because Eleazar is not going to be my heir. Yahuwah done showed him. He said, you're going to have a son. So let's look at this. Let's look at verse 61. And Rivkah arose and her damsels. Right? What you call those? Bridesmaids. This is a wedding procession if you really look at it. This is a wedding. Check out this wedding. And they rode upon the camels and followed the man. And the servants took Rivkah and went his way. And Isaac came from the way of the well, Ber-Lachai, for he dwelt in the country of Negev. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. So if you think about Adam, when Yahuwah says he put Adam in a deep sleep, meditation. Isaac's meditating. Flesh of my flesh. He's meditating. Then he see her coming. Right? And Rivkah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Yitzhak, she lighted off the camel. Come on, y'all. And then she got happy.
Yes, sir.
The Ruach HaKodesh came on. She lighted off the camel. Must have been a good-looking man. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walks in the field to meet us? Y'all better catch this. This is all right here. I told you the bridegroom got to come. And the servants had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. She's getting ready. And the servant told Yitzhak all things that he had done. He told what he got. And Yitzhak brought her into his mother Sarah's tent. Watch this consummation. He's getting ready to know her. And took Rivkah, and she became his wife. And he loved her. And Yitzhak was comforted after his mother's death. Comfort.
Yes.
Comfort. Wow. The bridegroom comes to comfort the bride. Blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. We have a comforter, y'all. We're no longer comfortless. We have been comforted. Receive, retain, hold the comfort that the Most High has given us. We are mishpaka. We're family, right? We comfort one another. They actually say comfort one another with these words. Right? John 3, verse 25. Make this shorter. Like y'all got it. John 3, verse 25 to 30. John 3, 25 to 30. Then there arose a question between some of the Yehukanan's disciples and the Yahudim about purifying. And they came unto Yehukanan and said unto him, Rabbi, he that was with you beyond the Jordan, to whom you bore witness, behold, the same immerses, and all men come to him. About Yahusha. Yehukanan answered and said, a man cannot receive nothing except it be given him from heaven. That's what he said. He said, he's the bridegroom. Look at that. He's the bridegroom from heaven. Yeah. He didn't make this up of his own. He's been sent. They try to understand it. It's a mystery. They said, what's up with this man? You immersed him. Now he going around immersing people. What's up with that? You ain't mad about that? Come on, y'all. Yehukanan answered and said, a man cannot receive nothing except it be given him from heaven. Right? It goes with the scripture where it says, how can you hear without a preacher? How can a preacher preach unless he's been sent? A preacher is a bridegroom, if you didn't know. He know you're the bridegroom of 7-day harvest. And you got to marry the assembly. Ye yourselves hear me witness that I said, I am not Hamashiach, but that I am sent before him. That goes back to Eleazar. Right? He that has the bride, catch this, he that has the bride is the bridegroom. But the friend of the bridegroom, he's talking about himself, which stands and hears him, rejoices greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. They all one. He said, I'm one with them too. I ain't mad. We all have a purpose. I'm the best. I'm the best man. He told you that Yehukanan is the greatest born of a mother. He's my best. So Yehukanan said, thus my joy, therefore, is fulfilled. He said, I'm good. But the other people are confused. They're like, man, what's going on with this right here? Well, I thought you was Yehukanan. He said, I am. I'm one with him. We work together. Yeah. Iron sharpening iron.
Yes, yes.
It's only one Elohim. Right. Neither one of us is doing this on our own. We all getting fulfilled, right? Even everybody in the assembly today, we all getting our joy fulfilled. We all been edified. It's only one body. But what can the ear tell the foot? That you don't need them?
That's right. Come on, come on.
We all members.
Come on, sir.
We got to discern the body. So they don't discern the body. That's why Yehukanan had to break it down, right? They did not discern the body. So then he goes on, he says, he must increase, but I ain't going nowhere. I just got to decrease. I'm still a part of the body. I just got to decrease. He has something that he has to do now. Right? Let's go down to Psalms 19. Hallelujah. Who is good? Psalms 19, verse 1. Psalm 19, verse 1. The heavens enumerate the glory of El, and the expanse shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night shows knowledge. Right? We know that in the stars. He told Abraham to count the stars. Right? Their line is gone out throughout all the earth, and their words to the ends of the world. In them has he set a tabernacle for the sun. Sun has his own tabernacle, right? Verse 5. Look, which is as a what? Wow. Coming out of his chamber. A bridegroom ascends and descends. The sun goes up and it sets. Just like the Malachi goes up and down, right? In and out. My sister said earlier, Yahuwah opened doors that no man can close. Closed doors that no man can open. It's just called protection. That's all it is. He builds a wall around his people, right? Oh, yeah. Just like the sun is protected. It has its own aisle or own area that it goes in and out. And nothing can come in his way, right? It's just like the bridegroom. You can't stop the bridegroom from coming to get his bride. That's right. It's a lane or path prepared for him, right? Which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber in what? Rejoices as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heavens and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. Nothing can get in the way of this. Nothing can get in the way of this awakening. Nothing can get in the way of the bridegroom coming back to capture his bride and bring her unto himself. You cannot stand that heat. You can't get in the way of that heat. He told you he's a consuming what? Fire. Ain't the sun a consuming fire? That's why David was bringing it out. He said, man, it's like the sun coming forth out of his chamber. Wow. Noonday. It's hot. You got to get some hydration going on. Working construction. Whoever work construction in the sun or anything. Cut grass or something like that. That sun beaming up, right? But it's going to do what it do. It's coming out. Bridegroom the same way. The bridegroom is coming out. He told you, I'm coming quickly. Woe unto you if I catch you sleeping, slumbering, drunk. I would cast you to what? Weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Psalm 25. Matthew 25, I'm sorry. Now we're going to see what's this bridegroom out. Now we see that the bridegroom coming out of his chamber, right? And it's hot. But it's going down. I know y'all remember this right here. Matthew 25, verse 1. And when this happened, when the bridegroom comes out of his chamber, then shall the kingdom of Yahuwah be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. It's coming out of his chamber. We just read that, right? And 5 of them were what? Wise. 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, because it's burning, right? It's heat. And took no oil with them. Like I said, they just know about this awakening, and that's it. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. Now understanding, he comes like a thief in the night. And at midnight, there was a cry made. That cry is a shofar. We talked about that in Mount Sinai. He came with a what? Shofar. Same stuff. It's about to be a covenant. It's about a renewal of a covenant. And 5 people knew it. They saw it in the earth. They saw rumors and rumors of war, but they said, that ain't what that means. It means I'm going to get married again. While everybody else playing around and sleeping and getting caught up in the affairs of this world. Man, I'm waiting on my marriage. Y'all better catch this, man. It's about a marriage. It ain't about none of that. I ain't getting caught up in the affairs of the world. It's for a sign that I need to get newly married again. Work out stuff in my marriage. Because it's a shofar blast. I heard it.
Yes, sir.
So at midnight there was a cry made. Behold, the bridegroom comes. We just read it, Psalm 19. It's coming out of his chamber. It's coming with heat. It's heavy. Go ye out to what?
Meet him.
Didn't that's what Rivka do? Didn't she light off her camel? Wasn't she ready? Then all those virgins arose. They light off the camel and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. Why would you give them your oil? Because if you gave it to them, they do not know what to do with it. You can't put new wine in what? See that? It came back, didn't it? They're going to waste the oil. Well, don't want to do this. They was not ready for the marriage. Then when you come through rejoicing because the bridegroom has comforted you, they want some of that. But they're going to trample on it. But the wise answered, saying, not so. Lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell. Go to some kind of witch doctor or something. Y'all better come on, man. Go to some kind of palm reader. Because this ain't for sale. Go to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, they went to. Because they foolish. The bridegroom came. I told you it's like a woman getting ready, get dressed 2 hours before time and waiting. And you even try to call that woman. She didn't even pick up the phone. That woman waiting on the bridegroom. He told me wait right here. And she gonna do that. Because she done talked to everybody or whatever she's supposed to do before then. Before she started getting ready. Because she even told them to get ready too. But they did not hear her. Right? So let's keep going. So, and then it says, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward, they also came, the other virgins said, Adonai, Adonai, open to us. And he answered and said, Amen, I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Adam comes. I'm going to jump now to Revelation. Revelation 21, verse 1 through 3. We got two more. Revelation 21, verse 1 through 3. Revelation 21, verse 1 through 3. And I saw a new heaven and a renewed earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. And there were no more sea. And I, Yehukanah, saw the holy city, renewed Jerusalem, coming down from Yahuwah out of heaven, prepared as a what? Bride, adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice, that when they cry, that's that shofar, out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahuwah is with men. He's in our midst, y'all. He's amongst us. His glory, his revelation. And he will what? Tabernacle, dwell with them. And they shall be his people. And Yahuwah himself shall be with them. And be their Elohim. And Yahuwah shall wipe all tears from their eyes. And there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. For the former things are what? Passed away. They waxed old, y'all. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, all these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, it is done. I am the olive and the tav. That was that sign. The beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountains of the water of life freely. He that overcomes shall inherit all things, and I will be his Elohim. He shall be my son. But the fearful, the unbelieving, and the abominable, and the murderers, and the whoremongers, and the sorcerers, and the idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Hallelujah. So they showed you who he's going to marry and who he's not going to marry. Who he's going to bring back into himself and who he's not going to bring back into himself. He's going to lead to weeping and gnashing of the teeth. And they're walking amongst you. But you have been brought back to him. Stay right there. Then the second death has no power over you. You can look out and see death all around you, but it has nothing with you. You don't fear it because you're not a whoremonger, you're not a liar, you're not a thief. It's for them. We all once had our conversation in that, but when we saw the bridegroom coming, when we heard the shofar, we answered the call. Do y'all see that? So therefore, he has given you a new mind, a new heart, and it's written there, and you meditate on it day and night. So you ain't got no time to be talking about no death and all that. You meditate on his word. You bring forth fruit in season, out of season. And fearful and whoremonger and murder ain't the fruit. It's life and peace in the Ruach HaKodesh. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. Hallelujah. Thank you, brother. Yeah, that's what we had. We all steam to Yahuwah for that. And remember the covenant. The covenant is the pledge and the allegiance, the alliance. We don't pledge allegiance to the flag. We're not married to that, right? We have allegiance to the covenant, right? The alliance, what we know about now, that has been revealed to us through the bridegroom. We know that the bridegroom has to have a bride to even be a bridegroom. You can't be a bridegroom without a bride. So he's coming back for his bride. Hallelujah. This time I want to turn this back over to my brother, my beloved brother, Pastor Douglas.
Hallelujah. Can we give the Most High a hand? Right before we make way to eat, we want to leave room for Q&A.
Sure.
If anyone have any questions or comments that they want to say, you have the floor at this time.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. It might be clear there.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So at this time, we want to ask our speakers to bless the food.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Okay. Hallelujah. Okay. I have a question.
We go back to Hebrews 8 and 10.
Okay. 18. Good one.
It says, "For this is the covenant that I will cut with the house of Yeshurun. After those days, says Yahuwah, I will put my Torah into their minds and write it in their hearts. And I will be their Elohim, and they shall be to me a people." Okay, at the end of that where it says, "They shall be to me a people," instead of him saying, "They will be my people." Is there significance in that?
Yes.
Where it says, "Be to me a people," instead of saying, "Be my people," or is it just
No, you're right on it.
translation?
If you go to Hosea, let's turn to the book of Hosea.
Okay.
That's a good one right there, sis. The book of Hosea, we'll see where he says, chapter 1 of the book of Hosea, Ahusha. And we know that Hosea was told by the Most High to go marry a harlot. See how it correlates? And it was like, you read that, I used to read that when I was younger, I was like, why would that happen? It was all a type and shadow of northern kingdom, really dealing with the northern kingdom. Hosea was prophet north. But Yehuda did the same thing as a sister, which we read earlier.
Yeah.
It just started spreading out, okay? And at that time, we'll see where it says, let's go to verse 6, I'm sorry. Hosea chapter 1, verse 6. And we'll go down to verse 8 or something. And she conceived again, talking about Gomer, right? And bare a daughter. And Elohim said unto him, call her name Lo Ruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Yasharel, but I will utterly take them away, right? Captivity. But I will have mercy upon the house of Yehuda, because Yehuda hadn't did this, and will save them by Yahuwah, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, but by horses, nor by horsemen. That's why it says Yehuda shall be saved first. Then it goes out. Yehuda goes out first. If you go to the book of Judges, it says, who should go up for us now? It says Yehuda should go up, right? So this is why he said, I'm going to save Yehuda in another way. Because Yehuda is like the apple of my eye. That's where the temple was. David's city, Jerusalem, right? So Yehuda is something different. Who shall rouse him? Yahusha comes from the tribe of Judah, right? Now verse 8. Now when she had weaned Lo-Ruhamah, like it done came from the breast, it done grew up, she has another. And she bore a son. Then said Elohim, call his name Lo-Ami. This is what you're talking about right here, sister. This is where that context comes from. For ye are not my you just a proverb in a what? Byword. Wow. Oh. Come on now. Come on. You're a proverb and a byword in the earth. You're a taunted. You're a Negro dus and nigger dus. House slave dus. Fear Negro dus. Cursed. You're a proverb and a byword in all the nation's mouth. And you wouldn't be like this unless your rock had sold you. Yahuwah did it to us. That's why he said, I'm going to make a new covenant and I'm going to bud this thing in the earth and this thing going to be so glorious. I'm telling you, that's why you got to be happy, boy, about this covenant, about this bride and bridegroom. Because you were not a people. That's why they can shoot you down in the streets right now. Unless you come back into this unless you circumcise your hearts. Because if not, you're going to be angry and full of bitterness. Because he turned his face from you. Not no nations. He did it. And he left you as not even a people. He left you as the scum of the earth. Turn you back over to the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air. You can't even get a burial. You read it. He said, don't even mourn for these people. Man, I'm done with them. But not forever. Because I'm an Elohim that forgives.
That's good.
And when I come back, I'm looking for a bride who's ready now, who has studied this, who is tired of mourning, who's tired of seeing their family and stuff, has went back and searched these scriptures and have repented and have waited on me. They're going to be a people that used to not be a people. They're going to be respected. And they're going to walk with respect and they're going to demand it. But it's going to be without a bow. It's going to be without horses. It's going to be a different kind of battle. It ain't going to be the horsemen that you think about. It's going to be something from heaven. I'm going to fight for them from heaven.
Yeah.
Thank you, Father.
They fighting with spiritual weapons.
Come on,
With prayer and supplications and praise and worship and sacrifices from their lips. They got a gun, but they don't live by it. Because they know it ain't going to be by that.
That's right.
But they got one. Come on, y'all. So he said, I'm going to call his name Lo Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your Elohim. Wow. Yet the number of the children of Yasharel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered or measured. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Hallelujah.
That's what you're talking about right there, sis. It changed over.
Yeah, it did.
But it's going to be in your heart, though.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be in your heart this time. They're going to know that you are the sons of Elohim. They're going to know that you are my people.
Hallelujah.
And nothing can separate you from me. Neither death, no life, no power, no principality, nothing.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm going to do it without a sword, without horsemen, or nothing. I'm going to do this thing.
Hallelujah.
Then shall the children of Yehuda and the children of Yasharel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Israel.
Hallelujah.
Coming about this thing. Coming up out of sin and bondage. And even in the land of our captivity, we're going to possess it. Because we're no longer under the bondage of sin.
That's right.
It's sin bondage. It's a servant of sin. Who the Son sets free, he's free indeed.
Yes.
Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. What's in the world? The lust of my eyes, the lust of my flesh, and the pride of my life. Subdue that and you subdue all things.
Yes.
Even the gates of your enemies.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That's the day of Jezreel. That's the great day of Jezreel. That's when you go come out with a shout,
Hallelujah.
with a shofar blast, with songs and keyboard.
Yes.
Brother, you can sing too, boy. I like the way you crack that. Boy, that stuff sounds good. Hallelujah. Yeah, anybody, anything else? Go ahead, brother. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay. Hallelujah. Go ahead, bro. This is right. This is what it's supposed to be. All praises.
7 years of fight, follow do the right thing, even when I was a Christian.
Correct.
I did the best way I could.
Yes.
Coming into this and just switched over and click. But wow, so tough. Of course, it was sometimes if I failed, trying to treat you there's something wrong. But there's just so much pain. And it's as if anything I try to do right, she gets upset. She's so upset. And she tells me, this is the way your God wants you to do it, as if I literally try to look at the scripture, follow what it says to do.
Yes.
It's like it's one more. It's just great. I ask the Father sometimes to clean up, but it just seems like it is two different people going totally opposite. And I understand the laws and I'm committed to my marriage, but it's almost as if we just friends with a child.
Yes. That's powerful. That's not uncommon. I just want to let you know that, first of all. Okay? It's not uncommon to man what you're going through. And I'm just going to help you with a few scriptures. Help you with a few scriptures concerning that. Praise y'all for your faith to get up in front of the great assembly. Bring that out there. And I had said that to myself when you asked that question. Yeah, I knew that somebody else had something else. You broke the ice. Praise Yahuwah. I didn't say it, but as soon as you said it, I said it's going to be somebody after her. And that's, praise Yahuwah for that you think. Shalom to you, first of all, brother. What you're doing takes a lot of faith. I want to let you know that. Okay? Shaul talks about that. That's what we was talking about marriage. It's a great mystery. Yahusha goes as far as saying you must even hate your mother, father, wife, even your wife, even your own life, to be a disciple. And that hate, I just want to deal with that. It's a perfect hate. Right? It's not a hate as in hate. It's a perfect hate, meaning you love her so much that it seems like you hate her. Or you love the Most High so much, it's as if you hate her. And that's what you're going through right now. You love this covenant that was implemented in Mount Sinai. Whether you have studied it or not, it's manifested in the earth. And you're grabbing a hold of it. Right? You've heard about it, you've seen it, and you said it's good. You tasted of it. So when that happens, when the bridegroom comes, somebody may be foolish, somebody may be wise. Somebody may hear the shofar blast and then go back to sleep. Or somebody may hear the shofar blast and not take it seriously. And it may be your spouse. Shaul talks about it. I'm going to help you out with it here. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 12. But to the rest speak I, speaking to you, not Yahuwah. He said, this is for his wisdom, but you can trust in it. Because there's really no scriptures on that. But put away. That's the only scripture on that. Right? He gave us a way to divorce for the hardness of our heart. And it just sounds like she has a hardened heart. You can put her away. But don't move too fast. If any brother has a woman or a wife that believes not, and she is pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. Now, you're like, what do you mean she pleased to stay with him? It means if she ain't getting in your way.
Right.
If she's not getting in your way to come and worship before Yahuwah, let her stay. And the wife which has a man, because it goes both ways, or a husband that believes not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. Right? Let him stay. He's letting you come, worship, praise Yahuwah, esteem Yahuwah, and he may still go, or somebody may still be into Baal worship, right? Or whatever. Or may not do nothing. Just as long as they don't get in your way, okay? I don't know where you're at, I'm going to let you speak after this. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by his wife.
Right.
She sets him apart.
That's right.
Your house is still set apart.
Yes.
Because of what you're doing. That's why I told you got a lot of faith to even still be there. And the unbelieving woman is sanctified by her husband. Else, this is what's deep at, because I heard you say this. Else were your children unclean. It's more about your children. It ain't got to a point, it ain't about you no more. It's about your continuance.
Right.
Your seed, your doom, your inheritor. But now are they holy? Wow. Come on, somebody clap right there. What this brother is doing, he is bringing holiness to his children. That's a different kind of man. That's a different kind of woman. But if the unbelieving depart, because eventually, if you keep on doing this and it ain't in her to stay, she's going to leave you. Come on, somebody talk to me. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not in bondage in such cases. You can move on.
I'm going to read that.
I said, somebody said you can move on. But Yahuwah has called us to what?
Peace.
Peace.
Shalom.
Peace. You're the only one that can bring peace in your home right now. I said, you're the only one that can bring peace in your home right now. You can bring peace to your children. That's why you said your children said, it's something about him. It's something about him and it's coming out. Stand. Stand. I gave you everything right there that you can do. Keep on standing. Keep on growing. Keep on letting your righteousness bud forth that Yahuwah has planted in the earth and see what happens. You can turn her around.
Yeah.
I said you can turn her or she will depart.
Right.
My wife wants to say something.
I just want to add to, don't push her. Don't continuously try to put this on her because it's going to make her go the opposite way. How you win her over, if it's the Most High's perfect will, is you just keep doing good. You keep doing what the Most High wants you to do. You keep following Torah. And like you said, it is going to make her come closer to you and do what you do, or it's going to make her run, or it's going to make her go. So the only thing that you can do is keep living as you are. Keep coming to the assembly. Surround yourself with brothers and sisters that are doing this walk with you so that you will have a support system that can be a support for you and for your children. And maybe, if it's the Most High's will, it'll help her to see that maybe there's something to this. It's all the Most High's will, though, if it's His perfect will. Because we can pray and we can keep trying to tell them about the scriptures over and over again until we're blue in the face. And if it's not His will, then it won't happen. As sad as it is, because I know we've been there before with family members, with mothers, with fathers, with your brothers, your sister, your spouse, your cousins, whomever's chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. So they have to be chosen by the Most High in order to even hear, to even have eyes to see and ears to hear.
So again, it's strong. And one more verse, Matthew 19, Yahusha speaks to his disciple on the same note that you're talking about. His disciples came to him, and it says, the Pharisees, or verse 3 said, the Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. We dealt with that, right? Wherefore they are no more two, but one. What therefore Yah has joined together, let no man put asunder. Meaning, let it not be on your cause. You keep doing good, right? You don't be the cause of a divorce or nothing. Right? They say unto him, why did Moshe then command to give a written of divorcement? Because we see that Yahuwah himself, he gave us a divorcement. So we know it's legal. But let's look at it. And to put her away. Yahuwah said he put us away, right? He said unto them, Moshe, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wife. This is why we got put away, because of the hardness of our heart. We were hard of what? Hearing. To the point that Yahuwah had to just what? Y'all see that? Yeah. And I know your wife may be hard of, but you still can't just, see, this is what Yahuwah said. He said you can. It can get that bad when it really start coming against your peace. And but the hardest of heart, you can put away, but then what you gonna do? See, what are you going to do after you put her away? That's what you have to look within yourself and say, man, if I put her away, what I'm going to do? Then he says what? Suffer you to put away your wife, but from the beginning it was not so. But we know that through life, certain things happen, like your case. But it was never what Yahuwah brought marriage to be. It was a perfect thing to bring forth a great glory in earth. But because of different situations, that he has given us a way to what? Escape. Right? And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife and set to be for fornication shall marry another, breaks wedlock. Right? And whosoever marries her, which is put away, breaks wedlock. So you're going into a whole other dimension now. Okay? But this is what I want you to see. His disciples said to him, if this is the case, if it's so serious, the case of a husband be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. Did Shaul say that? Because of stuff like what you're going through. But look, but he said unto them, all men cannot receive the saying. But to give you a saying. Save them to whom it is given. Because you will come to a point that marriage might not be for you. Some people just need to be married to Yahuwah. Why do I say that? He gonna break it down. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb. And there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. These are slaves who were taking away their male member so they can be a slave forever. They were made by their masters a eunuch. So they can't continue. So they can be taken. Y'all know that, that's Torah. They would say, I want to be a slave forever. And they would put an earring. See what I'm saying? That means they are devoted totally to slavery. So they were made by other men. So Yahushua's breaking this down. He said, basically he said, marriage is like this. You got to be fully committed. Then he says, for there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb. it was just that. They was born like this. We see that even Samson was born as a vow, right? With deliberate duty and all that. He couldn't cut his hair out. Some people just from birth, they set apart not to marry, right? Then it goes on and says, some by units by men, and there be units which have made themselves eunuchs. Which have made themselves eunuchs for what? The kingdom of Yahuwah's sake. Some don't want to get involved in this. Because it can be difficult. Anybody that's been married for a while, it can get difficult. It might not be your situation, but it's another type of situation that you might not know how you're going to make it out.
Right.
So some people know that and they say, man, I'm just going to be a eunuch for the kingdom of heaven sake, or I'm going to divorce and just stay by myself.
Right.
I ain't going through that no more. That's what you got to see. I'm trying to help you out. If you ain't do that, you better work that out. That's why the disciples said, man, this is wild. Who should be married? But she has to start breaking it down. How serious marriage is. That really just what Yahuwah put together, you should not never divorce. It's a mystery though. And because it's a mystery, sometimes we might have to what? Divorce. Because it get too hard. Somebody don't understand it and they just harden their heart and you just can't do nothing with them. Yeah. Now you take away from my peace.
When you just don't have peace.
That's different now.
You don't have no peace.
Yahuwah ain't gonna let you stay in that. That's why I want to break down to you. And then you're gonna judge your situation when you go back home and you keep on being there with her. So I just want to bring you all these measures because I don't know what to tell you, but you know because you're the one has to keep your peace. So how about your shalom? Peace and righteousness in the Ruach HaKodesh. Right? So this is what he's breaking down to a disciple. He said, whoever can receive this. And then he goes on. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. That's how he ended that. So I pray that you receive that in the way that you can receive it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Somebody.
First Peter chapter 3 verse 1.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's a good one. So what the sister was bringing out is you got to continue to keep your part of the ketubah, the agreement. That's what it's about. This is good, man. Ketubah. Remember the agreement that you made. If you didn't know the agreement, you know today. It's been revealed to you about the agreement that comes through the marriage. Hallelujah.
I just want to add that I literally went through it.
Hallelujah.
I can speak from experience. I was a Christian. We were both married Christians. When I came through this walk, she did not understand. But the Most High led me exactly what He's telling me. You must commit to your vows. Love her as you intend to love her and love Yah. And continue to do what the Most High has you do. And I believe you. The thing that happened to me,
Hallelujah.
will happen to you.
Hallelujah.
He said, either she will love you and love Yah, or she will put away. She vowed to divorce.
Come on now.
The thing about it.
Come on. Come on.
I was set free.
Come on.
He said, now I will make way for his kids.
Wow.
He opened that door, and I was able to walk through. And now I have a new wife that's walking with me.
Come on. Come on, Ike. Come on, Ike. That's what the greatest stuff out. Break it out. Break it out. Break it out. Break it out, Ike. knew they had something to say.
The Most High do it.
The Most High gonna do it now, because he coming for his wife.
That's right.
Huh? Coming to get that about you. Hallelujah.
I just wanted to add to that too. So what has been joined by Yah, let no man put asunder. And that's a prerequisite. A lot of marriages haven't been joined by Yah. That's right. So that will come to fruition.
Yes.
As everybody's been saying. If Yah put it together, it's not going to be put asunder.
No.
If Yah didn't put it together, then it's going to break apart.
It's going to break apart.
So it's going to be put together by Yah.
That's it. Come on now. Hallelujah.
This is my second time coming, and I Christian background.
Okay.
I guess my question would be, but where Jesus, I don't know his name in Hebrew or, but Yeshua.
Yeah.
Or Yahusha.
Yeah.
Okay, Yahusha. When the scripture said that I will take away your sin, as my understanding is that Jesus covered our sin. So I'm confused, I guess. Like, that's how I know Jesus. That grace. So I guess that's.
Okay. That's.
Can you kind of explain, is Jesus, do we see Jesus as the covering of our sin?
Yes. What it means right there when it says Yahuwah said he's gonna, because David even said it. David says that blessed the man whose sins are covered, whose iniquity is forgiven. Absolutely. So you're exactly right. He is the redeemer, as Moshe was the redeemer of the house of Yasharel, which is a mediator. We saw where he used blood on all the vessels of ministry, and we are today the vessels of ministry. So through his blood, we are redeemed from captivity, which is bondage, sin bondage. He that is a servant of, he that sins is a servant thereof, right? So we've been serving sin because why? The bridegroom turned his face from the bride. Where are you going to go after that? Sin, bondage, captivity, idols. And in the Christian church where I grew up in, because we didn't know the Most High, right? Or we were blinded at that time because of the same marriage, this covenant that we didn't have a knowledge of. And a lot of our priests and our prophets and our teachers, they had no knowledge of this covenant either, right? They didn't know the power of it, of this covenant, this blood covenant. But they did call the name of Jesus and whatever, but they were doing it without power, without understanding. Traditions of man, right? Which are waxing old. Because traditions of man will cause you to go back to Egypt again in ships. It will take you back into your vomit, like a dog going back to his vomit. That's all you're going to keep doing. You're going to keep going back to the same ceremonial, so-called holidays. The Easter Bunny, Christmas, not understanding that you're doing what we talked about, like baking cakes to the Queen of Heaven, Ishtar, sun worship. That's all it is, which is sexual rites, sexual orgies. You'll look at that when they came out of Egypt, they did that in the land of Moab. 23 men died by Baal Peor, which is the Lord of the opening, which is dealing with sexual immorality, whoredoms. And that's why in a lot of churches, I'm just showing you how Jesus, that mindset of Jesus is really getting wiped out, right? Of who he really is or what he came to do. Because we don't use his grace to continue in sin. The grace is that he sends a bridegroom to even marry you. Because you in your blood, you're still tied to a lot of stuff, right? And whenever he comes, he's going to cut that umbilical cord off and bring you to himself. And when he brings you to himself, that's why when you went and got a woman, it tells you in the Torah to cut off her hair and pare her nails, that she may forget her father's house. It's humbling. That's what happens when we really get into Yahusha, Hamashiach from the tribe of Yehuda. When we get away from the Christian theological way of looking at him, we'll just call on his name and just go back to wild living.
That's good.
To eating and drinking and raise up and play. To an afternoon Sunday program and go back and live in fornication. You see what I'm saying? Not understanding what happened at Mount Sinai when we said, I do. Right. But it's because of the pastors and the teachers. They were blinded. They couldn't come up to the mountain. Remember Moses said, don't come up here unless you what? Die. Wow. They could never come that far. They only did what they could in the church. I grew up in the church. They can only take me so far. Now I got to really get deep into this. Because this is an immersion that is going to burn up some people. It's a fire that went out that day. That they start trembling about this marriage. Oh man, we don't want you go up there, Moses. And that's what Yahusha came to do. He came to do what we couldn't do. Because he put us away. And how can he bring us back? It's defiling. If you put a woman away and she go marry another man, you can't marry her again. That's what we did. We went and married other gods. He got to send a bridegroom. He got to send a man. That's why he said, I'm from heaven. When you seen me, you seen the
Father.
I'm the Word made
Flesh.
and he dwelt amongst us.
Yes.
He came to his own and they what? Received him. That's what they're doing to you. You're the bridegroom. And they don't receive you because they got the Christian theological thinking. Jesus. But they don't even know him. He said, I never knew you.
Right.
You work of what?
Iniquity.
That means lawlessness. Wow. You have no law there, though. But you go there every Sunday. But there's no law. There's no foundation. It's not built on anything. It's built on Elohim that can't hear or see. So yes,